folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Papelbon sets. At the belt. The pitch. Swing and a miss. It's over. The Red Sox have swept the Colorado Rockies. The Red Sox are the world champions of baseball for 2007.
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the world championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 world championships. Can you believe it?
And welcome in to another week of the one, the only Fenway Faithful Podcast. We are here for episode 11, and in honor, both Rafael Devers and Marcelo Meyer, two people who have worn that number for the beloved Boston Red Sox, will be back this Friday through Sunday, but as members of the San Francisco Giants. It's been a while since we've last recorded, about 3 weeks, give or take. So before we get right into it, let's see what we've all been up to. Cobb, what have the last 3 weeks been for you?
More of the same. A lot of golf, a lot of work. Did get to see all of the big movies in theaters right now. Talking The Odyssey, talking Spider-Man, and Toy Story. Big fan of all three. We might even have some movie talk on this episode. Stay tuned. Mike, where you been? Why are we recording 3 weeks after our last episode? What happened here?
All right, don't blame me. Don't blame me. I wanted to record the day after the trade deadline, but you guys were busy. But then I went on vacation. I was over at the lovely Martha's Vineyard. Got to spend time with some family over there, and then my family left. Friends all came over to the island. We had a blast over there. And yeah, I've been pretty busy at work too. But yeah, just that. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, Stevie, what have you been up to? You're a working man now.
I know. Tomorrow marks 1 month since I started my full-time career. I work in a very highly regulated industry, so I don't know to how much I'm allowed to discuss this, but I have something very big coming up within about 2 weeks with my job. Again, I don't think I'm allowed to discuss this publicly, but
nobody listens. You can tell us.
That's on the horizon. I have my first licensing exam in 2 weeks. So that's big. Been studying and preparing a lot, but that's a big moment in my life that's coming up, so that's happening. My brother next week is moving into Bentley University for his freshman year. He's playing baseball there. He's very excited, and that is a big talk in my house right now. And I guess just besides that, obviously we are a baseball podcast, but especially the past few weeks, I'm getting very excited for the upcoming Patriots season. Mm-hmm. I literally can't wait. I can't believe it's only 3 weeks away. I feel like the Super Bowl was just yesterday. I can't wait. Love fall. Fall is a million times better when the Patriots are good.
Whoever let the NFL season start on a Wednesday needs to be fired. Don't get me wrong. I love the Patriots being in prime time. But what the hell are we doing starting on a Wednesday? What is this?
I don't know. I'm also not a big fan of the Australia game. I just think that's a little too far. And it's like the time and everything. But, you know, if they let me run the league, none of this would fly. But
what do you got against Australians?
No, it's not about us. It's so far. I mean, would you want to... One of the teams... Okay, I just read this, not to get sidetracked.
Go.
I don't remember which one's which. I know it's the 49ers and the Rams. One of them's going a week in advance so that they can adjust to the time change. The other team, from what I've read, is going to show up literally the day before and just, like, not worry about the time change at all. I mean... That would mess with my brain. I mean, I know, Cobb, you're doing your first Europe trip next month. You can see for yourself. But like, that first day after, you know, a transatlantic flight, it messes with your head a little bit. And I mean, the last thing I would want to do after a flight like that is get on a football field for 4 hours. But
I mean, listen, I'll report back, but I don't even mean to try to be a tough guy. People that complain about jet lag are pussies. Like, oh, you're a little tired. The clock moved a couple of hours. Like, figure it out. Like, it's a couple of hours. Like, drink a coffee. Like, never once have I taken a flight. I've gone coast to coast a couple of times. So, yeah, Europe's a different animal. But coast to coast, you know, people are like, oh, whoa, you wrecked for 2 days? No, I got up, I drank a coffee like an adult, and I got on with the rest of my life. Like, it didn't ruin my week like some people. Like, I don't know if I'm going to eat my words in about a month when I get back from Germany, but that's genuinely how I feel. I can't stand when people complain about jet lag.
Okay, well.
Mike, are you a believer in the jet lag theory?
I don't know. I haven't really gone far west or too far east. I've pretty much stayed on the East Coast. When I travel, the farthest I've done a time zone difference is 1 hour, so I really have like no opinion on it because I've never experienced jet lag. So I don't really have much to say on that topic. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm a believer of just getting an energy drink and just going.
Thank you.
Don't blame you for that.
Thank you. Welcome to the adult world. Screw jet lag. Screw jet lag. That's my Jordan Hicks.
What time is this Australia game? Like U.S. time? Like
US time. I think it's like 7 p.m. here, but it's like 10 over there. But I don't know if that's morning or night or what it is. Let me check.
Speaking of, the Patriots have a Germany game this year, November 15th. We're in Munich.
They do. My dad will be there.
Yep. So I will.
It's at 8:30, the Australia game.
AM or PM?
PM.
PM.
Yeah.
Well, I will let you guys know how I feel after my Germany flight and let you know if that's going to affect the Patriots November 15th against the Detroit Lions at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'm going to do some investigative work for the pod. No thanks needed. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout-out to my amazing mother and 2 sisters for the birthday present that you guys can see here. That would be number 58, Jonathan Papelbon. Signed, framed, patched. 2007 World Series. Hell of a birthday gift from the fam. Great for the 24th birthday. Honestly, I think I now have everything that I need in life. Also, I totally forgot about my camera angle for the pod, but I put all my posters back up in my room. I still have posters like a 16-year-old girl. And one of them is this yellow poster, and we're too deep into it now. I forgot that this was going to be in camera shot. This is an artist's rendition of Samuel Jackson and John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, but as monkeys holding bananas. I don't know why. I don't know where. I got it like when I was in high school. I thought it was hilarious. I loved the movie Pulp Fiction, and now that poster has followed me at every place that I've lived. So did just realize within the last 30 seconds that that's going to be in shot for the rest of this pod. So just wanted to give it the proper introduction it deserves.
We appreciate that, Cobb.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to the Revs game on Sunday.
Oh, I'll be working right there, going to the Harp. And
shit.
Yeah.
Have you guys done a Revs game before? Like, what should I be looking forward to? Like,
way back when I was a child, I do not remember.
I never have. This was my favorite Rev story to tell. This was maybe like 8 years ago.
How many Rev stories do you have?
I think this is my only. This might be my.
You said it's your favorite, so I.
Well,
it made it seem like there was multiple.
You'll understand why after I tell it. So this was maybe like eight years ago, I'd say. The Patriots were playing a road game, and some way, somehow, my dad was invited to a watch party at Gillette in like one of the luxury boxes. It was cool. So we were there. Again, obviously an away game. And the event was over, and there was a Revs game that night. I kid you not. It's maybe 30 minutes till, whatever, kickoff, whatever they call it in soccer. There's more people leaving this Patriots watch party than people coming in for the New England Revolution game. It was like it was a whole mob. Like after a Red Sox game, mob leaving the watch party. Like maybe 8 to 10 people coming in for the Revs game.
I mean, that's just cruel.
I mean, yeah, they don't sell out. They're not even close to selling out. But because I work right there, the patio to our bar is looking into Gillette Stadium. So I've worked multiple Revs games, and I just like look out in the stadium and I don't see anyone. They all like sit on the side that I can't see, but the rest of the stadium just looks completely empty. And then like when they're all leaving the game, it just looks really sad. Like the Patriots preseason game was more packed than like a Revs regular season game. You're not gonna see too many people out there.
Yeah, I doubt they even sell like for the 300 level for a Revs game.
I think they're moving. I think they're trying to build a stadium because like if you're selling out an NFL stadium, it just looks so empty. But then if you make a smaller MLS stadium, it's gonna look packed every night.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed. I'm looking forward to leaving Gillette and not sitting in 3 hours of traffic.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't even know that existed, so I'm going to go experience it for the very first time this Sunday. But 4 p.m. game. Revs suck this year, so I imagine it'll be a quiet stadium. They're not facing Messi, the only soccer player that I know in the MLS. So if I got any scouting to bring to the pod, you guys will know next time we talk. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about some real sports. We have got 3 weeks in review for you guys. It has been 3 long, tumultuous, sad, painful weeks without the Fenway Faithful. Today is August 19th. The last time you heard from us was Wednesday, July 29th. A lot has happened since then. Let me take you back to the last time you heard from us. We were sitting at 55-51, 4 games above 500, a game and a half up on a playoff spot. We had just been dealt the Curtis Mead injury news, broken wrist after 2 plate appearances with the team. We were kind of in limbo right there. We did not know how many more additions there were to come. We didn't know if this team was worth investing in at that point. We really did not know. Since then, we are 13-7 since that last recording. That puts us at 68-58. We are 6.5 games up on a wild card spot and just 2.5 games back of the New York Yankees that hold the top wild card spot in the American League. However, that 13-7 stretch could not have been any more rocky. That 13-7 stretch started with a 9-game win streak. We were on top of the world, as you can imagine. The season didn't even feel real. If you go to our predictions, we all predicted clean sweeps for like the entire 3 weeks since you guys have heard from us, because we all just put our hands up and said we can't bet against these guys until they prove that they can't. It was a really beautiful run that we saw, and then we came crashing down to earth. We lost 3 straight series to Sacramento, to Toronto, and then to Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh one was pretty gross. Now, we've bounced back. We are playing against Arizona right now. If we look a little distracted right now, that would be because we are all in our 20s. We all survived with phones in our hands. But we also have the Boston Red Sox in the bottom of the 10th inning right now in Game 3 of their series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We are going to report that one live. I imagine that we are going to see the end of the game while we are recording. Diamondbacks are up 7-5, starting the bottom of the 10th. We've already won that series. This is Game 3, and we already took the first 2. So it's been a good bounce back since that tough stretch after the 9-game win streak. Now, a couple of takeaways that I have from what we've seen over the past 3 weeks, and then I'll kick it to you guys for your thoughts. This team is, in fact, human. This is real. We woke up from the dream. This Arizona series is very important. This Arizona team has some drama around them with Ketel Marte, which we'll get into a bit later. But they are 4 or 5 games above 500. They're fighting for a wild card spot. This is a legit team in a legit series, in a good series win, and a good bounce back. Very clear that Toronto is our absolute kryptonite. So glad to not have to face them again this season. 3-8 we were in our 11 games against the Blue Jays this year. Gentlemen, what do we think about the last 3 weeks? It's been a complete and total roller coaster.
Yeah, so I don't know our record against the rest of the AL East, but you got to do good against your division year in, year out. So to hear 3-8 against Toronto is just absolutely brutal. I know they just went to the World Series last year, but they clearly were not the same team as they were a year ago. They don't have the same team whatsoever. So to go 3-8, brutal, but we don't have to play them the rest of the year. Maybe we play them in a wild card. I don't know. They're like a couple games out right now. But I have a stat that they said on the broadcast today that I thought was interesting. Teams under 500 in this stretch, the Red Sox are 17-12 against them. But teams above 500, they're 19-0. Currently 19-0. They might lose the game right now, but currently 19-0 against teams above 500. So if you're going out and beating these legitimate teams that are going to make the playoffs, that just gives me hope for this playoff run. That you could go out and beat some of these top contenders. Like you saw, we swept the fucking Dodgers. Like, are you kidding me? We swept the Dodgers, and just like the Diamondbacks are a pretty solid team. They're above 500. Just all these teams are above 500, and we're just making light work of them. But recently, I don't know. Our play has kind of been a little rough. During our win streaks, we were letting up runs, but then constantly coming back right away, and the offense just didn't have that spark. So once the offense kind of loses that spark, you see the team lose the spark. The pitching has still been the same.
I got a number for you during that 9-game win streak. 72 runs scored. That's 8 runs per game during that 9-game win streak. The offense was unfathomable how good they were. I mean, seriously, they didn't even look human.
Yeah. I think this is a place for a lot of optimism. I mean, the past week or so, there has been some up and down. I mean, live Diamondbacks just beat the Red Sox 7-6.
Thanks for the spoiler.
Oh, sorry. Well, that just happened. Pittsburgh was a very up and down series. So there has been up and down, but I mean, that's, what happens every year. It's a long season. They have a crazy win streak. Mm-hmm. Losing is inevitable in baseball. But there should be a lot of optimism in Boston right now. I mean, we've said all this 100 times, but even dating back to April and May, all we could talk about here and fans could talk about was how horrific the offense was. It was painful to watch. They were losing all these games 2-1. And not only is there so much more competency hitting-wise now, not to drink the Kool-Aid, as I know I've done a couple times on this podcast, but Roman just started his rehab. I mean, that will be huge. I mean, Sogard and Siegler, they've been all right in the role they've been given, but they're not major league leadoff hitters, especially not for a playoff team. I think, that's a reasonable assessment to give. And contrary to some, stereotypes people in the city have about Roman, I think, he's going to get called up September on the horizon, playoffs on the horizon. I think he will be locked in. So there is optimism. I know, maybe we'll touch on a little bit later, Crochet. He's not going to be the starting role that, we saw last year, but if we can even get a little bit of him, that could go a long way. So there are, some reinforcements coming, but this team is still performing very well. Like Monasterio, he was, I don't know where he's at now, but he was hitting 271 on the season, and in a 7-game stretch was over 400. So I mean, if you're getting production out of that, out of your backup, I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of room for optimism right now. So yes, a little bit bumps, but very optimistic where we stand right now. Yeah,
and Monasterio had a 20-game on-base streak. He filled that shortstop hole perfectly. Defensively, I don't know, but offensively, pretty good. I will not take Nick Sogard slander. Shout out Nick Sogard, hit his first career home run today. He's been pretty solid. I agree with you on the Siegler front. Siegler should not be our leadoff guy. Nick Sogard filled that role pretty well, but I mean, this past couple of weeks we've been hit with the injury bug, but we're also getting reinforcements. We're starting to think about Trevor Story return or a Roman Anthony return. So, yeah, we've been dealing with some injuries. It sucks, but the depth has been able to fill those roles pretty well. And now that these guys are ready to go, it's time to roll for this playoff run.
I think the scariest thing is that we've seen 2 different teams this year. So, like, when we lose a couple series, we're like, oh, shit, it's April all over again. But a bounce-back series, like, even though we just lost right there to Arizona, taking 2 out of 3 from a good Arizona team, it's like, all right, like, we're not on those polar opposites. We're somewhere in the middle, and hopefully we're closer to the good end than the bad end, and being able to compete in the playoffs. But I think that's what kind of gives us so much anxiety with each and every game down the stretch.
I mean, like, we went on such a crazy run, 30-5 in a 35-game stretch, that it gave us some leeway. We lost 3 series in a row, but we're still the second wild card, and we're still 6.5 games up on that second wild card. So because of the insane historic run we went on, we have a little leeway. Yeah, it sucks losing 3. Well, now that we won the Diamondback series, but losing those 3 series in a row against those below 500 teams, not good. But a part of me is like, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about how this was the worst Red Sox team in history. So then when we're losing these series, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not as upset because it could be way worse. It could be what we were dealing with at the beginning of the year. We're still in a playoff spot. We're still looking good. We're getting reinforcements. I'm not as down about these series losses as I would be maybe at the beginning of the season because, I don't know, I'm just happy that we're even in a playoff spot right now and we're even talking about playoff baseball.
Cut that talk out. Stevie, I'll let you go first. You've had something to say.
Yeah, so to touch on the wild card real quick, obviously, anything can happen in September. But based on how the play has been in the American League, I mean, whatever we are, 5 or 6 games up of the third wild card team, I mean, I don't see a world where a team, well, I can see a world, but it's very unlikely that a team, based on how the AL has been this year, is just going to magically topple us like that. I think they've really put themselves in a great situation. I will admit, if this team was like the third wild card right now, even if they had some games, I wouldn't be as optimistic as I'm maybe sounding tonight, but they really have control right now. The schedule going forward really isn't that challenging, and we all know how the AL has been this year. Mm-hmm. And just a couple things I want to put out there. I know I kind of touched on this when my last statement, but if all goes to plan with these guys coming back from injuries, I mean, Rutschman, Contreras, Durbin, Rafaela, Abreu, like, that has been the core this year. But, I mean, if all these injuries, if Roman comes back, Meade comes back, whatever, shortstop, does Story come back? Maybe do they call up Arias? Who knows? I mean, I'm like, there are reinforcements. And when healthy, and this is just the offense, when healthy, this can be a very lethal offense.
Yep.
I mean, they are coming, hopefully.
Stevie, I agree with you. Hold on, Stevie. Expectations should be high. So when I hear something like I'm just happy to be here, that completely and utterly disgusts me. We're the Boston effing Red Sox. We're not just happy to be here. We're here to win championships. It's not, oh my God, we have a playoff spot. Let's just enjoy it while we have it. No, F that. Now, for those of you that are astute at observing things, you might see that I'm wearing a suit. I was going to mention it later in the episode, but now's the time. I'm wearing a suit because we're in episode 11 right now. For 10 episodes, we've had the worst team in baseball. We've had a lot of jokes. We've been bitching back and forth. We had a great run. We've had all of those emotions. But right now, it is business. This is a playoff team in a playoff run. There is no more dicking around. This is where it gets serious. So there is no talk of I'm just happy to be here. This is the time to go for the throat, to continue to attack, because anybody taking their foot off of the pedal right now sets them up for failure and a mirror of what happened last year in 2025 when we all said that, when we all said, I'm just happy to be here. F that, Mike. F that.
I was more saying, closer to what Stevie said, that it was, there's no way any team's going to catch up with us unless they go on a historic Red Sox run that we just went on. and that it could always be worse. It could always be what the beginning of the season was. Obviously, I want us to keep going. I obviously want us to go catch the Rays for the fucking division. I want us to not have a second wildcard spot and have to go to New York for a 3-game wildcard. That sucked. You know my opinions that I hate the wildcard setup and how it's 3 games in New York and nothing in Boston. I hate that. I obviously want this team to keep going. I was just more saying that I'm not as mad at some of these series losses as I would at the beginning of the year, because there's no fucking way any of these teams like the Orioles or the Blue Jays or anyone below us are going to catch this team. There's no way. We already gave ourselves such a cushion because of that win streak, 6.5 up, and I fully believe we could keep going. I think we could easily pass the Yankees and catch the Rays for the division, but we're kind of running out of time for that. But I think realistically catching the Yankees.
Stevie, are you happy to be here?
I'm more than happy to be here, but this is legit. I just hope everyone out there, at least where I'm coming from, this is legit. And I mean, just on paper, there aren't really that many teams in the AL that scare me. And even, maybe some you can make an argument for, none of these teams have gone on runs that the Red Sox did, I almost said Patriots, that the Red Sox did this year. Like, even though the Rays have been the best team in the AL nearly all season, at the Red Sox best, we swept them. We were beating them. We were, they cannot match to our best. The Rays collapse in October. It's a yearly tradition. The 2021 ALDS is one of my favorite series of all times. There's just not much out there. Where we're currently sitting, who should I be scared of in the AL? Who?
I agree.
Who?
We're gonna
I don't know.
We're gonna jump into the playoff picture and talk expectations, but I don't ever want to hear I'm happy to be here, because in the great words of Kobe Bryant, what's there to be happy about? Job's not finished. Job finished? Nope. Job's not finished.
I didn't word it the best, I guess. But yeah.
Nope. You gave me an inch, I took it a mile, Mike.
Keep quoting me on that. Remember, when we asked the question, was this run real? You two said no, and I was the only one who said yes. Just remember that. When Stevie just said, oh, this is legit, oh, it's good to see you switched up. I was with them from the beginning, the first 9-game win streak.
Cobb predicted this to be a 70-win team, and
Cobb's the worst one.
Now he's saying,
dressed like you're
we're supposed to be.
Funeral right now.
You're
dressed up like a fucking funeral right now because your takes suck.
You don't win championships when you're a 70-win team.
All right, how about we move on to the next topic?
Let's do it.
That was horrible podcast audio. I apologize for everyone just screaming over each other. That should be.
That was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful content. Quickly, our next series upcoming. The San Francisco Giants are coming into town. Stevie alluded to it into the intro. Marcelo Meyer and Rafael Devers are making their return to Fenway Park. And even better than that, what's even better than Red Sox baseball is the Fenway faithful are going to be there in attendance. Shout out Sam Hall joining us. We're going to have a little foursome there at the ballpark. Have a great time. Sitting there watching the return of Rafi Devers and Marcelo Meyer. So, my question to you two is, when they announce Rafael Devers, now batting, number 11, number 16 over there? Is he 16?
Couldn't tell you.
16, yeah.
Now batting number 16, Rafael Devers. Will you be booing or cheering? Stevie.
Wow.
Will you stay silent? That's also an option. A cowardly option, but it's an option.
I'm very indifferent. Very indifferent. I mean...
Mike?
I was letting Stevie answer. I mean...
Just quickly, cheer or boo?
Cheer.
Team boo. Stevie?
I'm booing him.
Ooh.
I'm booing his face
Y'all
off.
quickly forget what he did for this franchise.
I'm incredibly grateful for what he did. However, though...
Franchise leader of home runs at the third base position. Probably the best third baseman in Red Sox history.
He set himself up for this chapter to end that way. Mm-hmm. Mookie, that is not how the story had to end, at least on his end. Henry should have paid him. No one's ever always in the good. Henry should have paid him. That was a huge malpractice. Devers, he was supposed to be here forever. We didn't see any of these issues the first 5-6 years of his career, and just out of nowhere he starts acting like a psycho and wants out. That's just not how that had to end. And when more and more stories come out about him, I just wasn't happy with how this ended. I mean, he should have been a Hall of Famer, a Red Sox Hall of Famer, had number 11 retired in Boston. That's not how the story had to end. And I'm not happy with how he behaved down the end of the line.
So just because he was a crybaby one season, you're just gonna all the other years that he had and all the great memories, him taking Chapman deep in one of his first like legit series of his career, winning the championship in 2018, all those majestic home runs he hit into right field, just all that. Fuck him, fuck Raffy Devers. Like, yeah, it sucked. He was a crybaby. We all hated him for it. But I think I can put that all aside and give him a little cheer and then boo him the rest of the game because he's now on the Giants. I'm not going to root for the Giants. But, you know, I'm Marcelo Meyer, on the other hand, is completely different. That is a full-time – if he even plays, because I don't think he's playing. But
he's not playing, but he'll be out.
He's going to want to go out
over the weekend.
Yeah, he's going to want to go out with Roman Anthony.
Now, Meyer, I think we're all booing. Meyer deserves it. I'll be booing Rafael Devers as well for the same reasons that Stevie G said. And I think I'm pretty cutthroat when it comes to who I cheer for and who I boo. If you are not on my team, I actually don't give a damn about you. I am always in favor of booing you. I always thought it was so gross when Brady went to the Bucks, and there were a certain portion of Patriots fans that were like, I'm rooting for the Bucks now. It's like, no, you're not a Patriot fan, you're a Tom Brady fan. And that always disgusted me. I never went to a game where Tom Brady was a Buccaneer. And I don't know if I would actively boo him, but I'm certainly closer to the side of boo than cheer. And I would say that for anybody that leaves my franchise. So Rafael Devers, especially when you are such an ass on your way out, I am absolutely booing your face off. You suck, you fat lard.
Wow. So even because I was there when Bogarts came back, I cheered Bogarts. So you wouldn't, if you were there, you wouldn't have cheered Bogarts on or any of these like Red Sox legends. You're booing everybody.
Comes back.
I don't think I'm actively booing them like I am Devers. Bogey hurts. Bogey hurts.
I had to cheer for him. I mean Bogey didn't cause this mess when he left. He was a true Red Sox, you know.
Bogey was a free agent decision. The only grace that I will give is if it was truly and genuinely like not within the player's control.
I mean like if you got offered that much money compared to what we were offering, I think you would have taken the Padres.
They offered him. The Red Sox practically offered him a 1-year extension,
which is kind of why Bogarts might be a little bit of an exception because his free agent offer from San Diego was so far of an outlier that anybody would have taken that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, would you boo if you're at that first Philly Celtics game? Are you booing JB?
That's a great question. Damn.
Because that's like kind of a comparable to this situation, kind of. Because he kind of went out messy a little bit, not as bad as Devers.
It wasn't nearly as messy.
Not as bad, but it's still. There was always so much about JB. Do they like each other? JB going on his Twitch streams saying all this BS. I mean, and now he's like, would you cheer him when he comes back? Are you booing him?
Let me give you a long-winded answer. It kind of depends on whether or not you believe all those Jaylen Brown rumors over the years are true or not. So I feel like whether you boo him or cheer him, you've already decided this for years on end. Like, I've always loved Jaylen Brown. I actually have not bought into those narratives over the last couple of years. So on my spectrum of boo to cheer, he's probably dead middle, and I would stay silent.
Oh,
what about Marchand?
Marchand never wanted to leave. Marchand is a cheer.
Yeah.
That's a great example of a guy that moves on, and I'm cheering for.
Okay, makes sense.
That's
I mean, anyone that wins us a championship, I'm gonna be grateful.
Oh, what a low bar! You are such a sellout.
No, like a superstar that wins us a championship, yeah, I'm going to fucking cheer him. I'm not saying I'm going to cheer Ian Kinsler. Like, you know I will not cheer Ian Kinsler. I hate Ian Kinsler. This gets brought up every fucking episode.
That's never allowed on this podcast. We're never allowed to trash.
No, I should have rephrased that. Like, any, like, super, like, legitimate, like, impact player that won us a championship.
He was an impact player.
All right,
Dude, stop. Finally, the Red Sox did something at the trade deadline. For years, we've been begging for this team to do something worthy at the deadline to talk about.
Thank
and
you,
you know
Craig
what's
Breslow.
also... What?
Thank you, Craig Breslow.
Yeah, we're officially ripping off the last part of that T-shirt. And you know what's even better is us here at the Fenway Faithful have an insider. Jonathan Cobb, do you know information? You called an Adley Rutschman trade way earlier in the season when we did that episode on trade deadline acquisitions, and you said, Adley Rutschman, are you an insider? Does the Fenway Faithful have an insider on the panel?
A true insider would never give away his identity, nor would he ever give away his sources. So I'm going to decline to answer that question. Next question.
Fair enough. So yes, Craig Breslow finally did something. Obviously, we had the Curtis Mead trade in the last episode. We already kind of said our opinions on that trade. But he did more. He went out and got 3-time All-Star catcher Adley Rutschman from in-division rival Baltimore Orioles. The full trade, Adley Rutschman and catcher Jake Rogers, who's no longer on the team. We DFA'd him. Sad day. 4, we gave up a lot in this trade. Anthony Ianson, number 2 prospect in our system, starting pitcher, was dominant this year. Starting pitcher, Kyson Witherspoon. Catcher, Carlos Narvaez. And then outfielders, Endy Azokar. And then the player to be named later ended up being outfielder Harold Rivas. So, as I was saying, Ianson was the number 2 prospect in our system. And then all these other guys, I mean, Rivas and Azukar were having good years in our system. Harold Rivas, 18-year-old, was kind of flying through our system as well. Had a 773 OPS, solid bat, but kind of a lot for a player to be named later. Endy Azukar having a 20 home run season combined with us and the Baltimore Orioles minor league systems with 77 RBIs and a 290 batting average. That's through 3 levels. He was with Salem and High A, and now he's in Low A in Baltimore, so they ended up calling him down. But Anthony Ianson's the big piece in this trade, the big name to talk about. Through 2, he was in High A to start the year. I talked about it earlier. He had 20 innings pitched, a 4.4 ERA, or a .44 ERA. Then got called up to Portland, continuing the dominance. 48 innings, a 1.88 ERA. He was absolutely dominant. Kyson Witherspoon, on the other end, was not doing too hot. He was above 5 ERA in our system. Just did not seem like he was really agreeing with the pitching philosophy he had going for him, and he just struggled. So honestly, I don't mind giving up Kyson Witherspoon. Do you guys, or a little bit more on Adley Rutschman before we get into it? He has 1 more year of team control, so he's arbitration for 1 more season, then he hits free agency. Struggled last year with the Baltimore Orioles, as everyone knows, but he bounced back this year, made the All-Star team. So in Baltimore this year, 8 homers, 47 RBIs, a 250 average, 767 OPS, kind of returning back to his form from 22 and 23 when he was an 800-plus OPS guy who hit 20 homers, 80 RBIs kind of regularly. But then in 2025, really fell off, only having 9 homers, 29 RBIs. So, was kind of returning to that form with Baltimore, then got hurt, was on the injured list. He's came back now with the Red Sox. He had 1 rehab stint. So in 7 games with the Red Sox, he has a homer, 4 RBIs, a 192 batting average, 344 on base, and a 690 OPS. So, fellas, what do you think about this trade? Did we give up too much? Do you really think Adley Rutschman is the piece that this team needs to make a playoff run? And for the future, what are your overall thoughts on Adley if he could continue his first half of the season, if he could go back to that 2023 form?
Go for it, Stevie.
Let's do it. First things first, just as Willard opened with. We have been begging the Boston Red Sox for years to make serious acquisitions at the trade deadline. Dustin May, oh my God, I can't even remember their names. The relief pitchers those years back.
Ugh.
These are not serious acquisitions. These are deadline acquisitions that the Cincinnati Reds make, that the mediocre teams that have no expectations. That is not moves at the deadline that the Red Sox should be making. So I am very, very happy that they finally grew a pair and made an actual move at the deadline and not this factory answer that they're going to give us every year that, well, Roman's coming back, well, Crochet's coming, well, look at all this. Those are our trade deadline pieces. So I am very happy that they, did that. I will say, though, that was a very hefty price that they had to pay for a catcher who is solid, but really not at a super all-star level. He's an all-star, but he, there's tiers to everything. But here's the biggest thing. Here's my most important takeaway from this. And this I'm getting a little uneasy about. Coming into the season, more specifically when we closed out last season, all this pitching depth, especially starting pitching depth we had, was amazing. Kyle Harrison, all these guys, even like Hunter Dobbins, who we traded to St. Louis. Here's something I'm getting a little concerned about. They have parted ways with a serious amount of pitching assets in the last, we'll say, 9 months. Kyle Harrison, Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz, Connolly Early, obviously just Ianson Witherspoon. List is going on. Halkin Crawford, who knows what's going to happen with that. Had you asked us in November what excites us most about the next maybe 5 years, we'd say all these young pitchers we have. We really don't have many of these guys anymore. Obviously, Toley's a dog, and he looks like he's going to be here for the foreseeable future. Obviously, next year and for the foreseeable future, Crochet will be here. But one thing I'm starting to get a little on edge about, we're really, really decimating this starting pitching depth that we've been talking so fondly of the last 9 months. So that was my biggest concern with this trade and this overall philosophy.
On that, I'm not that worried about them being able to find pitchers. They might not be young, controllable flamethrowers, but you know what you can't find that easily? Is stud catchers. So yeah, you do have to give up quite a few pitchers and quite a few talented prospects, but the positional value of having an above-average league bat, an elite defensive catcher, switch hitting versatility, I think that trumps all of that. We can find pitchers. Craig Breslow, if he wants to lay his head on the pillow every night and say, I can find pitchers, I just need to figure out the offense, let him do that. That seems to be his strength. That is the one thing that we have been saying that we believe in Craig Breslow for all season long and even years past. For the Adley Rutschman trade, I agree. Obviously it's a steep price. But it's the same thing I said about the Curtis Meade trade. Who cares about the price when you get the player? Like, you are getting the guy. It's a sexy name. You're getting him from an in-division rival. He has all of the traits that we just talked about, and he grades out fantastic as a leader. That is the kind of guy that you say, all right, this prospect I really don't want to trade. I'll part with it for a guy like Adley Rutschman. This is a guy that should be a Red Sox for life. He should retire here. With a package like that we gave up, I have to believe that is the goal. You cannot give up 4 prospects plus Narvaez and not re-sign him after 1.5 seasons.
Exactly.
So that actually gives me hope that he will get re-signed.
Yeah, I don't think they would give up that much if they didn't have the idea of re-signing him. But on to your point, Stevie, about the pitching in our prospect system, you now look at the updated top prospects in the Red Sox organization. There's only a couple in the top 10 now. It's Juan Valera at 5, who just underwent Tommy John surgery. So it's not like you're really going to see him. Then some 18-year-old Sad Bile Delzine, never heard of him. John Holobitz, who's in AAA right now, struggling. And even one of the lower tier trades we made was Tyler Uberstein for Eli White. That's another depth pitcher that came up this year and pitched innings for us that you kind of just got rid of. So Tanner Houck, probably not going to see him this year. Yohan Oviedo, probably not going to see him this year. And I'm starting to get a little concerned at the innings that Tolley and Jake Bennett are getting, because they've never pitched this much in their lives. So you start to get concerned at their workload, and now we're kind of getting rid of some of this pitching depth. But on the other hand, Craig Breslow knows how to find pitching. He will just draft another college pitcher next year, and it'll be completely fine. I mean, he pitched, because both Ianson and Kyson Witherspoon were both college pitchers. And obviously, Witherspoon didn't really work out in the system, but you could easily find those guys that you think will work in this pitching system pretty easily. There's a ton of college pitchers out there. And it's an in-division trade. For a position like that, you don't really get those elite catchers. You're going to have to pay the hefty price. And I've said this before, I'm sick of waiting for the prospect to come up and save the team. I'm sick of hearing about all these guys that we have to wait 4 years to see them even play. Yes, I love hearing about what Justin Gonzalez is doing. Shout out him. He just got called up to AA. But we're not going to see him for another 4 years. I want to go flip these guys for a guy that could help us out now. I'd way rather be talking about the prospects we just get rid of rather than us being why didn't we do anything at the deadline? Oh, because he didn't want to give up the prospects to go do it. And I think if Adley Rutschman could return to that 2023 form, that is a slam dunk trade. Especially because Carlos Narvaez do not care about him whatsoever. Those two outfielders, 18 and 19 years old, we weren't going to see them ever. We already have the outfield of our future of Roman Anthony and Rafael and Abreu. We don't need any more outfielders. So, honestly, I think I love this trade. Even if he's struggling right now, he's came back from a rehab. He only had one rehab game. So, maybe we call him up a little bit more. I'm not too worried yet. And you kind of been seeing it the last two games that he started. He finally hit his first home run at the Red Sox. He had an RBI double the day before. He's starting to slowly get back into things. And a switch hitter as well. He could both take advantage of that green monster and the gap out in right field. I think his swing will work good at Fenway. We say that about a lot of people. But the switch hitting and catcher, and he's a great defender. If he just goes back to that 2023 form or even continue what he did in the first half of this year, that is perfect.
My bar isn't even that high for him. Over 700 OPS, catch 140 games, have great defense, and be a leader for this team. That should be able to carry him for the next decade. He should be the catcher for the Boston Red Sox for the next decade. And that's the kind of guy that I part with my prospects for. But, elephant in the room, that only happens if we re-sign him.
Yeah. But
why hasn't Baltimore re-signed him? Baltimore has been spending money. So, this has me a bit concerned about why a guy like Adley Rutschman, a fan favorite over there, first overall pick, had all of that success, 2022, 23, and into 24, and they couldn't get him re-signed? What is the deal here? Is he holding out for the last penny? Does he not want to negotiate until free agency? I'm a little bit concerned about that. And if he's holding out for the most amount of money, what is that number? Are we talking 35 plus?
Probably. So, with agents, I don't know who his agent is. I don't know if he's a Boris client or whatever.
Not Boris.
Agents these days are always trying to wait to the last minute and try not to screw over their guys to try to get them the most money possible, especially with the lockout. Maybe they're going to want to get a deal done soon, but maybe do the Orioles just really like Basayo that much better that they're maybe we don't even want to re-sign him and we'd rather Basayo and we could get something for Adley Rutschman? Because Basayo's great, but I feel
He's
they
a butcher
could have made
behind
it
the
work
plate
between the two. Yeah, exactly. I feel like they could have made it work for the team too. I don't know.
This opinion might not make me the most popular person in this room, but Rutschman is a stud, but he was the number one pick. He was the number one prospect coming up. The hype he got was so out of control that I can kind of understand where the Orioles don't think he's part of the long-term success, especially because a lot of these other young guys who they were like, this is going to be unstoppable for the next decade, like Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, Westberg, all these guys. I will say, with the amount of hype that Rutschman had coming up, it's kind of fair that he really didn't live up to maybe what a lot of their front office expected him to be. Like, they probably expected him to be in the realm of a 300 hitter, more than 20 home runs every single year. And he's a phenomenal player, but the hype he had was out of control.
It's
I don't know
fair.
if you guys remember that.
No, it's fair. It's pure offensive numbers. He does not have a very sexy baseball reference page. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of the volume stats. He's got some injuries that he's fought the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But I hate to be that guy, but he has the shit that you just can't measure.
No,
like, he really does. And he's the kind of guy that I think profiles and ages well. With his defensive ability, switch hitting, and leadership. I mean, lock this guy up.
You don't really out of the catcher position. You're not ever really expecting a ton of offense from your catcher position anymore, or really ever. So to get it, the first 2 years he was an 800 OPS guy. I feel like you gladly take that out of your catcher position, and if he could hit you 20 homers as well and bring in 80 runs, it's like you gladly take that. So I think he was somewhat living up to the hype within the first 2 years, but I get it. The next couple years were a little rough, but I think we could. I think he could turn it around. But if you're a catcher, switch hitter, who could also be an 800 OPS potential guy or even a 750 guy, you don't really get that out of many catchers. He's gonna get the top dollar. He's gonna be the top catching free agent if he does hit the free agent market.
So I did a little bit of research on what that number could look like. So JT Realmuto hit free agency at age 28, coming off of back-to-back 4-win seasons with the Miami Marlins. Again, age 28. Adley's going to be 30 when he hits free agency going into 2027. JT Realmuto got 5 for 115 from the Philadelphia Phillies. 5 for 115. That feels like at least a pretty achievable floor for an Adley Rutschman extension. So if 5 for 115 is the start of the discussion with the Baltimore Orioles, and that doesn't even lead anywhere to get him signed there, I'm worried he's looking 8 for 240 plus. Would I give that to him? Gun to my head, not my money? Sure, why not? But, that's a fat number. And if you think that he's getting top dollar, it's going to be 30 plus over 7+ years. It's going to be 9 figures, and it's going to start with a 2.
This is well beyond the scope of this conversation right now, but with the upcoming lockout that seems very inevitable, I know one thing that owners are really trying to push for in this lockout is a max of how many years to give to a guy under contract. So again, as you said, not my money. I'd give everyone everything if I could choose. But I have a strong feeling that when push comes to shove, the players will agree to that if that's the most the owners ask for, which is going to shoot players' AAVs through the roof. So he might be trying to play, I'd say for him, if he wants a long-term 10-year deal, he would have taken it by now because this is something that's going to be discussed in this lockout. But he could be looking for, if he's only going to get a 4 or 5 year deal, could that be in the 40 range? Because that's what is going to happen.
That's a good question.
We're just throwing out numbers. If the new agreement is no contracts can be longer than 6 years, let's just say that. Well, I want a 10-year deal to retire here. So I would have gotten 10, maybe near 300. So I want above 40 every year because it's not my fault that you guys push for this. You guys push for this, so now pay the price. I want a higher AAV since you won't take me here for the next decade. So again, beyond the scope, but I mean, if he's pushing for a higher AAV, this would be the time for him to do it because...
I got to say, I did see something online speculating that for a lot of these guys that are nearing free agency, that for the sake of the fans and for the sake of the team, that CBA, being in limbo kind of helps the Red Sox. If you're Adley Rutschman, you don't want that uncertainty with what the new CBA rules are going to be. You have incentive to get a deal done before December 1st. Which, again, all of these narratives that I'm talking about, I can't get the thought out of my head, like, why wouldn't the Baltimore Orioles just have done that? Why wouldn't they have locked up this guy for the rest of his career? Probably like they should have. So, I love everything about it so far, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, we all should be, and I'm honestly a little bit nervous too because this team doesn't do the. We've seen some examples where they botch the extension before they hit free agency, like Xander Bogaerts, and they end up going in free agency for a lot more. So I really want to, because John Henry, sometimes he doesn't like giving out that much money. So if he's asking for 40 a year or even 35 a year, are you really confident that this front office is going to want out and give it? Because the extensions we do see that we give the team are going to be are the ones that are like the young players like Campbell and Roman Anthony that are cheap extensions. Brian Bayo, the cheaper side of the extensions. We've only really seen Devers and Crochet with the big long-term extensions, and you know how the Devers one ended. So
I feel more confident probably with John Henry getting a 5 for $200 done than like an 8 for $240.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think he's so scared of longevity.
Yeah.
If I'm Rutschman, am I attacking that 5 for $200? Is that the number that I'm going for? Because honestly, it kind of hurts. 5 for $200. God,
What do you want
we
a
love the
deal to be a
guy.
free agent at that age, though? Because he's going to be 30. I mean, he doesn't
He's
want
going to be 30.
He doesn't want to be a free agent when he's 35.
Exactly. That doesn't help him. Yeah. 5 for $200 is a bad time frame for him.
Yeah, like I remember all these years ago when we were talking about the Devers extension, he would either want like a 4 or 5 big money deal or like a 13, 14-year deal. Like one of the deals that Soto turned down. And then he eventually got with the Mets. Tatis got one of these deals. I mean, as I'm sure the three of us know, this is kind of a new thing. Like, take me until I'm 39. Take me until I'm 40. Take me until I'm going to retire. I mean, this is kind of a thing. And, again, beyond the scope, but that is going to be pushed against by the owners in this upcoming lockout.
For whatever it's worth, on the high end of the comp for a long-term extension for Rutschman, in 2010, Joe Mauer signed his extension with the Minnesota Twins. At the time, that was 8 years for $184 million, $23 million AAV. At the time, that was the 4th largest deal in Major League history. If Adley Rutschman wants to sign the 4th largest deal in Major League history, he will be right behind Mookie Betts' $360 million contract. So that's what that looks like 16 years in the future, that kind of money. That's how it's translated. It's pretty much doubled.
Yeah, the salary cap inflation in like all sports is just crazy to look at. Giving Rutschman a little less than Mookie Betts is just a wild thought to me. Especially because they were so unwilling to give that money to Mookie Betts, and obviously Mookie Betts is so much better of a player than.
Hold on, the Mookie thing is a whole different discussion. I don't think Mookie was negotiating in good faith, but that's an off-season topic.
Yeah, we all agree we like that trade. Now, there's another trade we probably also like because we've talked a lot of crap about this player throughout the season, and that is Marcelo Meyer getting traded to the San Francisco Giants. We've mentioned it multiple times before. In that trade, we got relief pitcher lefty Erik Miller and outfield prospect 21-year-old Carlos Gutierrez. Marcelo Meyer's career in Boston's done. He played in a total of 114 games, .223 average, 278 on base, 346 slug, 625 OPS, 7 homers, 32 RBIs. Not great whatsoever. Erik Miller, on the other hand, is a reliever who won't be a free agent till 2030. So we got everyone's like, oh, we traded Marcelo Meyer for a reliever. Well, this reliever at least has team control, and he has been a stud in his career with the Giants. A career 2.90 ERA in 153 games. This year with the Giants, he pitched in 38 games with a 2.76 ERA. So he was honestly pretty solid. And then we got a prospect as well in return. That came out a little bit later. I was honestly kind of surprised we got someone else in the trade. Carlos Gutierrez, he is now in Greenville, which is high A. And this year with Eugene, don't know what team that is, but whatever the high A team for the San Francisco Giants, he hit 9 homers, 45 RBIs, a 271 average, and an 826 OPS. So solid throw-in in the deal. Maybe he could get move up our system. 21 years old already, but you never know. That's not really the main part of the deal. It's Erik Miller, and this team really needed some high leverage arms for the back end of the bullpen. He could also open. He's been an opener in the past, so if we want to kind of tag him along with Brian Bayo, but with these bullpen injuries, I'd like him to be like a 7th, 8th inning guy. What do you guys think about this trade and Marcelo Meyer's tenure here in Boston?
Good riddance. I mean, this is how.
That's what I had written down. That's what I had written down. Good riddance. Get this guy out of here.
I mean, this is how this had to end. I mean, we were talking earlier. This isn't how Devers had to end, but this is how Meyer had to end. I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't have what it takes to be here. We've seen this time and time again. We can just tell he's not in the batting cages at 5 or 6 a.m. every morning. He's not, perfecting his skills. He's
far from doing the maximum. He's actually doing the bare minimum, being seen out on the streets.
Yeah, he's out in Southie. He's down in Nantucket. He's doing whatever. I've used this analogy many times, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, but there are just some people, whether it's in athletics, school, whatever, some of which these people we probably know personally that, do nothing of, smart value, like go out all the time, aren't in the library, aren't in the lab, whatever, still have fantastic grades, still are incredible athletes. And I just think Marcelo Meyer, his whole life, high school, he was still the best player on the team, even though he was probably out at parties every weekend, hanging out with women. He was just gifted that way, and he really never had to grind. And now when it was time for him to grind and face adversity, that was something new for him, and that's how he responded. But this is how this had to end. He couldn't handle it here. He's responding to fans on Instagram that are saying, we're happy you got out of here. So I'm so happy. I don't even care what the return was. Just get him out of here. And it's good that we got a solid return, but thank God. I mean, what a great era to be over with.
What a complete and total 180 from the last 2 years. Seriously. Erik Miller is not he's no throw-in by any means. He's a very valuable piece. But if you heard 2 years ago that we were trading Marcelo Meyer for a lefty reliever, you would have thought that we were drunk or high. That makes no sense to somebody living in 2024. But that's just the way it is. And I'm more disappointed that we traded him at this point. I'm more disappointed that it took it this long to realize that this guy just doesn't have it. Obviously, they've been seeing... You have to have seen this behavior for his years in the franchise. You go to Christian Campbell and offer him an extension. You go to Roman Anthony and offer him an extension. But you don't do that for Marcelo Meyer, the guy that you had tagged as the future. So you had seen concerns with him. Whether it was the swing, whether it was the off-field stuff, we'll never know for certain. But they saw the concerns, and they chose to keep him. That, I think, is the differentiator between a good GM and a bad GM. It's not about who you acquire. It's about who you trade. And more importantly, who you don't trade as well. So holding on to a guy like a Marcelo Meyer when at peak value could have gotten a bona fide star any of the last 2 years. It hurts But unfortunately, I agree with my amazing, beautiful co-hosts here. Just good riddance. Get this guy out of my face. So glad to see him. And honestly, pretty hilarious to see him traded for a lefty reliever. I mean, it's almost like trading like your star wide receiver for like a kick returner. Like, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of a spit in the face to the guy. You've heard my Marcelo Meyer takes. That guy is going to be the best shortstop on a bad team ever. He might even be, the Pittsburgh Pirates all-time hit leader by the end of it, and he'll never win a damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to what Stevie said. He's just a Cali kid that got everything handed to him. Everything, his whole life handed to him. He probably went through the best AAU programs, got everything handed to him, and, coach's son, you're the best. And then the second he got drafted 4th overall, he kind of got handed the future of the Red Sox shortstop position on this team. So it's kind of like, I don't have to really work much for this because I already got handed this position of being this team's future shortstop. So he never worked hard for it. He never worked hard for anything. And it showed. It definitely showed.
He didn't really even earn his promotions in the minor leagues.
No, not at all. It was all injury.
He just kept getting moved up. Like, he never played bad necessarily, but there was never like a, holy crap, look at Marcelo Meyer. All the guy would do was hit fine for 2 months, then hurt himself and go MIA for 4 months. That was the Marcelo Meyer experience. And
he got called up to the majors because of injuries at the major league club. We talked about it
the
before.
irony.
That we called him up way too early. He was not ready to come up to the majors. And it's just, like you said, complete 180. Like, just a couple years ago, we're like, I cannot wait for Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, Kyle Teal. Well, Kyle Teal got traded, and then Campbell and now Meyer did not work out. I mean, we might see Campbell again maybe at some point. He's at least still in the system. But this is what, like I was saying earlier with the Rutschman deal, I'm sick of waiting for these prospects because a lot of these guys just get called up and don't work out. So go and trade them for the big name. Marcelo Meyer was involved in so many trade rumors in the offseason, the big one being Ketel Marte. Looking at it now, I'm glad it didn't happen, especially this week. He didn't even show up for the Red Sox series. But it's the point is being that his name was in so many trades, and they were like, no, we are sticking with Marcelo Meyer. He is our guy, and they defended it till the end. And now, for a lefty reliever, it's kind of just comical at this point.
It is absolutely comical.
The one thing that makes this feel a little bit better is that Franklin Arias is so damn close to getting called up. He is supposed to be now the next future shortstop, and he definitely works way harder for that than what Marcelo Meyer ever did. And if we didn't have Franklin Arias like on the brink of the majors, it would hurt a lot more. But now I'm just like, good riddance. I don't even care. I don't even care what we got. We have Franklin Arias coming up. Marcelo Meyer, you're a bum. You bum.
You bum. Stevie used a term when describing Adley Rutschman that he wasn't a super all-star. Well, Franklin Arias is a super prospect. That is the kind of guy that, we talk about, like you just said, we're kind of speaking out of both sides of our mouth here, we can't put all the faith in the prospects, but it's like...
Exactly, but...
Arias is a little bit different. Arias is different. Those guys don't come around too often. One last thing on Erik Miller. What a flippin' animal that guy is. Craig Breslow is building an absolute army out there in the bullpen, a controllable army at that.
Yeah.
We are setting ourselves up to have one of the best bullpens in baseball for years to come. These are not rentals. That gets me fired up. Bullpens are what win and lose games down the stretch.
Yeah, imagine a bullpen of either Slayton and Guerrero in like the 6th, Erik Miller 7th, Whitlock 8th, Chapman 9th.
Oh.
That is untouchable. Like, you just need like 5 out of your starter, and then you move it over to the bullpen, and it's great. Erik Miller hasn't even allowed a run yet with the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. He still has a 0 ERA with the Red Sox.
Yep.
And we needed a lefty reliever. So, honestly, I like the move. I mean, like, a lot of people thought Marcelo Meyer had 0 value. So to get a controllable lefty like that, it's a position of need, especially now with we'll get to it soon, with some of these bullpen injuries. It's like, honestly, great trade, because now Erik Miller is going to be an extremely high leverage guy for us. But what do you guys, if you were to give your like a grade or just an overall opinion on the deadline, you think it was a good deadline? You think we could have done more? What do you guys think?
I'm giving it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I think they finally made serious acquisitions, and I commend them for that. The only thing that I wish I could have seen is, maybe instead of Eli White, could they have gone to a more serious upgrade, a guy that could really beat out Duran for the last spot. That I wasn't too happy about.
That one didn't make sense at all.
It didn't. And when Anthony comes back, this guy could be DFA'd. So I didn't really understand that one. So I just thought, could they bring in a guy to seriously compete with Duran for a spot, or even seriously compete with Monasterio for a spot? So I kind of wish they added a right-handed bat to play either left field or shortstop. But I'm the other two trades, and we'll see what happens down the stretch with Meade. But overall, I think a B plus, and that's something to celebrate.
I'm giving them an A plus. Craig Breslow, you have passed Jonathan Cobb's trade deadline evaluation. Now, would I have liked them to get a shortstop? Yes, I would. But thinking on it, how important Andrew Monasterio has been, I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. Andrew Monasterio has been raking. The depth has been so important to this team. Hasn't the depth been great, guys?
Wow, it has been, Cobb.
No, but seriously, I think if you look at each trade individually, the Meyer trade and the Rutschman trade, I don't think either are A pluses. But when you combine them both, I think it sets us up to build a team to win this year and for years in the future. This is an A plus deadline if we have a plan for shortstop. If the plan is Monasterio, great. If the plan is flipping Sogard and Siegler, great. If the plan is Trevor Story, I can almost throw up in my mouth trying to say that. I don't know. I just need some plan for shortstop. That's the only thing that I was missing, but still, it blew away my expectations. Rutschman, Curtis Meade, and Erik Miller. Blew away my expectations. A plus, Craig Breslow.
I'm going to give it an A minus, and it's for a reason you just gave, Cobb. It blew my expectations out of the water because for years we've just been sitting here disappointed deadline after deadline after deadline, and you were able to actually go out and get people that are going to win now but also win in the future with Rutschman and Meade both being controllable. I've kind of changed my opinion on the Curtis Meade trade a little bit after having 3 weeks to think about it, and neither of the sides playing because Connolly Early's out the year. Curtis Meade we haven't seen yet, so but getting a controllable second baseman with power is nice. But yeah, I would have liked a shortstop too, but Andrew Monasterio has been fantastic. The defense hasn't really been there, but the offense has been. So honestly, it's been a good stopgap until we figure out that position. And I don't know, maybe you want to do what you did like in 2013 and call up when they called up Xander Bogaerts for that playoff run. Maybe you call up Franklin Arias for the shortstop position. I don't know. Maybe that's something they do. So I don't know if I'm the most mad in the world that they didn't go out and get a shortstop. It would have needed to be a rental. I don't want a future shortstop when we already have that right at AAA. And you still have Trevor Story under contract. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. Maybe if he could give us what he did last year for this playoff run, that'd be fantastic. So it's not the end of the world we didn't get a shortstop because we have options. Outfield,
Agreed.
I would have liked a little bit better than Eli White, because now Duran has been the luckiest player in the world because of all the injuries that have happened this year. He really shouldn't have been getting this much playing time. But when you have Roman Anthony go down at the beginning of the year, and now you have Masataka going down, he just keeps buying himself playing time. Like, if you went out and traded for like a better outfield rental, then Duran would not be getting this playing time once Anthony comes back, and that could have been better. But I don't know. Duran's kind of hitting a little bit better as of late, but it's still not good.
I think the last hope for the outfield, I think he's 38 now, but Starling Marte just got DFA'd by the Royals. I've always been a big fan of him.
That's like Ian Kinsler joining the team.
That's a great comp.
But that might be the last thing left. I mean, he's a two.
We already have Jahmai Jones. Like, who do you want to like? Jahmai Jones has been great. Like, who? Because Marte's going to be a backup outfielder, or do you want him actually replacing Duran?
He could beat out Duran. I don't know.
I want Willie Castro.
Well, I don't
Really
think
Castro.
he's not coming to save us. But I mean, well, all I'm saying is Marte just got DFA'd either yesterday or the day before. So if they want an actual upgrade, he might be the last duck on the pond. Because
I don't know. I might rather Jahmai Jones and Eli White than Marte. I don't know what Marte's really doing these days, but I don't know.
Yep.
the Red Sox weren't the only team that were active at the deadline. Just like every year, numerous trades come around and shape how teams play out going into September and beyond. So very quickly, we're just going to run through around the league some moves that we liked, some moves that we were also not a big fan of. So I'll start us off. This is a little counterintuitive to what I've been talking about for the Red Sox to do, but I'm giving a big ovation to the Toronto Blue Jays. They did something that I've been so critical of the Red Sox for doing the past few years, which is the hybrid buy and sell. So I'm sure we all remember 2022, the Red Sox sell Vasquez, sell whoever else, but then buy Hosmer, buy Tommy Pham. They were doing this for years. I couldn't stand it. Toronto, though, if you're really smart, which I don't think Breslow is yet, Bloom absolutely was not, there is a correct way to buy and sell. And I think the Blue Jays hit it right on the money. The only chance they have to make the playoffs this year is because of how poor the AL is. Maybe they will, but I don't think they will. So they sold Gausman to the Cubs. The Cubs look like they are a serious team to win the NL. So that was a great move because he's getting older and his long term was not in Toronto. But at the same time, they also bought Jose Soriano from the Los Angeles Angels, who will help them in years to come. That is a prime example of the right way to buy and sell. Bloom was incompetent and could not do that. I really don't trust Breslow could do that. But that is the correct way to buy and sell. That you're not completely punting where everyone old is out the door and you get 30 prospects back. But that's a way to get something in a bad year. They got something for Gausman, but also have an asset that they can keep going forward. So
Soriano's nasty.
Yeah.
Soriano's filth.
I commend them for that 100%. Some trades that I do not like. I'm also going to take a team aspect here, and it's who the Red Sox just played. It was the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm very puzzled with those moves. Adding Weaver, adding Doval. Those are solid additions, but I don't really understand how the only additions you make are in the bullpen. I mean, that team has so many needs, and they're in a semi-challenging division. There's more competition in the NL. So if you're really going to go out and buy and say you're going to be a playoff team, build around Paul Skeens, how do you not make your offense better? Like, they made like 3 or 4 trades just in the bullpen. That's a little... I'm sure, I don't know the exact stats. I'm sure they had one of the worst bullpens in the league. Because I know Whitlock was rumored to go there when the Red Sox were awful. But just only addressing one position of need, I don't think that really moves the needle. And this is probably the Pirates' first time buying in a very long time. So I was a little confused by that method.
Yeah, as was I. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Didn't make a ton of sense. You guys aren't going to like the trade that I love, but I do, and it deserves, as a wise man once said, deserves its flowers. That's the Los Angeles Dodgers training for Tariq Skubal.
I knew it.
Why is everybody mad at the Dodgers? Everybody's mad at the Dodgers because of what they do in free agency and how they manipulate contracts. This is completely independent of that. This is a trade. Anybody in baseball could have done that. Anybody in the American League fighting for a playoff spot should have done that. But they didn't. The Dodgers went out, did the inevitable, and traded for Tariq Skubal. They're out there to win championships. Obviously, that's clear. They get everybody on the face of the planet, and that's fantastic. But to actually go out and make the trade, it's easy when you're giving away deferred money decades away. But when you're actually giving up the 25th and the 68th best prospect in all of baseball, that is where the real baseball decisions come in. It's nut up or shut up time. You got to win the World Series when you give up that size of a package for a rental stud of a pitcher. I mean, best pitcher in baseball, Tariq Skubal. And nobody else wanted to trade for him except for the Dodgers. You'll hear me shit on the Dodgers a lot. Maybe not shit on the Dodgers, but at least criticize the Dodgers for the way that they do business, but not for this trade. That was fantastic. Did you guys like that trade? You guys seemed really happy when I said that name.
I'll get to it when it's my turn.
I have a feeling this might be a love or a hate for Mike, but the one that I hate, similar reasoning from Stevie G, that would be the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners did a little hybrid buy-sell, buying Taylor Ward from the Baltimore Orioles, selling Luis Castillo to the Chicago White Sox. And this frustrates me because I like the Seattle Mariners. I don't know why I like the Seattle Mariners. I've always liked the Seattle Mariners. Maybe it was a King Felix thing back in the day, and I finally got to root for Robbie Cano now that he wasn't a Yankee. I've always loved the Seattle Mariners, and they've always had good, competitive teams. But they've always just so clearly been one or two pieces short. And this year, in a time where, I mean, they probably have the best pitching depth in the American League, and they have for a couple of years. The American League, again, is so weak. The opportunity was there to make a big splash move, and they didn't. And I just feel like it's such a sad existence to be a Mariners fan because every year you have such a good competitive team, but not good enough to make a splash in the playoffs. This was actually the scenario that I was going to be afraid of for the Red Sox. We do a couple of middling moves, but nothing big, and then we waste a season where we have elite pitching for like missing the playoffs or making the third wild card and getting bounced quickly. So Seattle Mariners always frustrate me this time every year. I would love to see them go all in at some point.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with the other way, the trade that I didn't like first, because you obviously know what I'm going to say, the Tariq Skubal trade, but it's not for the reason everyone thinks, like, oh, because the whatever. Like, yeah, it's a trade. It's not a signing, just like you were saying, Cobb. It's none of those reasons why I don't like it. It's the package that Detroit got back that I don't like, and that anyone in their mother could have done that package. Zaire Hope.
Why do you hate that trade then?
I hate it for Detroit's. Side, and I'm mad that literally anyone could. So Zaire Hope, great outfield prospect. That's not the problem. I would have preferred Jose DePaula over Zaire Hope, but whatever. River Ryan, because I don't know what number prospect he is, but he's 27 years old. How is he still a prospect? Why is that one of the top
injuries
pieces that you're getting back? Like, he's like 2 or a year younger than Skubal, and you just traded him as one of the big pitching prospects in the deal. Like, that's ridiculous. But also, teams like the Brewers and the Rays have way better farm systems that could have offered 10 times more than it. I get that Skubal is a rental, but he's a generational pitcher. You should have been able to get a little bit more than Zaire Hope and River Ryan, and I don't even know the third guy, when the Brewers could have offered 10 times more because they have one of the top prospects, farm systems in baseball, and so could have the Rays. It would have sucked if the Rays did it, but I think those two teams specifically, because they're having incredible seasons, should have taken advantage of going after a rental like that because they don't spend money in free agency. So to go out and trade for a rental piece like this to help them for a World Series run, which they have not been able to get over that hump. Brewers have not been able to make the World Series, and the Rays have not been able to win it. And getting a Skubal could have helped that, and they have the farm systems to do it. So that's what makes me mad, and I think Detroit could have gotten a little bit more out of it.
I don't think they could
but
have.
I'm not mad at the deal because the Dodgers did it, because the Dodgers are going to make a trade. It's not like it was the free agent thing that everyone gets mad at them over manipulating money. It's making a trade that anyone could have made.
Yes, you're right, but I don't think the Tigers could have gotten much more. They waited until the last second And when you wait till the last second, congrats. Now your asset only has 2 more months of control with a very well-renowned agent, Scott Boras, representing him. You cannot get
Tigers,
top dollar for him.
The Tigers extremely fucked that whole situation up.
I disagree. You know, Skubal, you know, say what you will. Guy's a complete and total superstar in this game. You hold on to your superstars for as long as you can.
I agree, and I mean, maybe, I don't know the specifics, maybe he wouldn't do it, but for every player that goes to the Dodgers, especially in free agency, there's a team that wouldn't pay him what he's worth. And stuff like this will be, you know, discussed in the upcoming lockout. Yeah, the Dodgers are a wealthier team than the Tigers are, but every single one of these MLB owners, just their team alone, is valued at over $1 billion. And many of these guys have multiple different franchises. And at the end of the day, you just got to pay guys what they're worth. Skubal's expensive, but guess what? I don't even know who the owner of the Tigers is. He makes well more money than Skubal ever will.
The guy that owns the Tigers owns Little Caesars. Fun fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just the Tigers are valued over $1 billion. I don't even know what Little Caesars is valued. These guys can pay.
That's a good question.
I actually have no idea. But these guys can pay Tariq Skubal $200 or $300 million. And
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
yeah, so I mean, as much as I want to rip the Dodgers, there's multiple teams that didn't do the right.
I mean, yeah, I'm not ripping the Dodgers at all. Like, if I were the owner of the Dodgers, I would have done that in a heartbeat, or the GM of the Dodgers. It just, so many other teams could have done it too.
I agree.
Trade I liked. We've talked about him.
Wait, hold on. Little Caesars is worth between $3.5 and $4.5 billion. Billion with a B.
Yeah,
big news right there.
Skubal.
And they can't give $1 million to Skubal.
I think I saw him do an interview like after the trade, and I'm pretty sure he said he's open to like talking to the Tigers in free agency. So that would change my opinion on this if they went and got Zaire Hope and then re-signed Tariq Skubal. But
now
that's what they said about Lester when he got dealt. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true. Now I didn't take any actuarial science exams, but if Little Caesars increased their hot and ready pizza from $5 to $6, you think they could have signed Skubal? Yeah, these are the kinds of questions that go through my head on a daily basis.
I think if they gave out pizzas for free for the next 10 years, they'd still be able to afford Skubal.
Probably not wrong there.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, a trade that I liked, we've talked about him. We wanted him or at least Stevie wanted him in Boston, was Luis Ariz to the Phillies. I think that's a good move. A lot of on-base guys there, so just get a nice contact guy to bring all those fellas in. I kind of wanted him in Boston, but, you know, he's going to Philly. Honestly, solid move. I also liked one more. I like it for the return. Tyrone Taylor and Clay Holmes to the Cubs. The Mets ended up getting Jefferson Rojas in that deal. How the hell do you get a top 100 prospect for Tyrone Taylor and Clay Holmes? That one surprised me, but I love that from the Mets side. So that's another one that I liked just because of the return. A top 100 prospect for those two, kind of odd to me. But yeah,
the Mets got what's that?
There's always some return for a starting pitcher. I mean, starting pitchers are always in demand this time of the year.
I'm a fan of Clay Holmes as well. The Mets got like 10 prospects.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't love the teams that were like a couple games out of a playoff spot and sold. Like Baltimore was like a game or 2 games at the deadline, and they sold Rutschman, or obviously Detroit. We're a couple games out. It's tough because it's the AL. Everyone's bad. It seems like almost everyone's like 2 games out of a playoff spot. You sent that picture in the group chat the other day where it's like everyone was tied for the 3rd wild card spot. But like teams like Baltimore, Toronto did the buy-sell thing, so it's like not as bad. But Baltimore, Detroit sold, Washington sold. They were kind of having a good stretch. I mean, like I don't love the teams that like I don't get how you can sell a fan base when you're 2 games out and your fan base is invested, like we're only 2 games out of a playoff spot, and you sell. Like, we've experienced that with the Red Sox before, and it pissed me off. It's like, I just don't love when teams do that. I love when teams like the Cubs are like buying all these pieces of the deadline, or us when we buy. Like, I love that. I don't know. I just don't know how do you guys feel about?
One of my takeaways when I was reviewing the trade deadline is it's obviously been very well documented how weak the American League is this year. Nobody in the American League, like in that wild card hunt outside of the top 5, made any big splashes. Like, the biggest splash was Toronto getting Jose Soriano, but they also traded Kevin Gausman and Dalton Varsho. Like, I don't think you get credit for a big splash when you're trading 2 other veterans of your team. Nobody in the American League. It felt like everybody in the American League in that wild card picture was just sitting back and being like, we're not going to do anything, we're going to react to what happens, and then nobody did anything. They all just sat there with their Schlenzer in their hands.
It's almost like they're like, we don't want this last wild card spot.
Yeah, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
They all just don't want to. What does the third wild card team play? Like, how does that seeding work? It's like they're all trying to avoid playing like I don't even know. The second division winner or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, the third.
Third.
Yeah,
first 2 got a bye, 3v6, 4v5.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're all avoiding playing... Is it the White Sox? Oh, come on. Come on, you guys get to play the White Sox. You fight for it. It's like they're all like, you could get that third wild. I mean, it's
I was
tough
disappointed.
It's tough with the expanded wild card, because you're going to have less sellers, I guess. So maybe there wasn't as many pieces to buy for some of these teams. But it's like, there's like 5-6 teams that are fighting for that last wildcard spot. I wish they were trying a little bit harder and like kind of invested. I don't want Toronto and Baltimore buying because division rivals. But as a baseball fan, I would have liked for some of those teams to buy. And then, like, Washington has one of the best offenses in baseball. I feel like they could have maybe went on a run instead of just giving up like that and trading some of the guys that they did. I don't know. I don't love it.
I agree. I was really disappointed in the lack of activity from those American League wildcard teams because it was a good, fun deadline, but I felt like it could have been so much better.
Oh, my God. I feel like there were so many moves that happened, but like you said, there still could have been some stuff that could have happened. Like Detroit. Like, if you're going to sell hard. Like, they sold Skubal and Mize, but they still have Gleyber Torres over there. Like, there's still some more
old friend Kenley Jansen.
Kenley Jansen didn't get traded. Like, because like you said last episode, you're like, the Tigers have a ton of pieces to trade. And at the time, it was only Skubal. Like, Mize was very last second deal that went through. And at first, I'm like, what are the Tigers doing? But still, there were so many. If you're going to sell, just sell everything at that point. I don't know.
I agree with you. It makes no sense. And if you're going to buy, buy everything. Like, what's the point of buying? Like, you're just going to half buy? Bunch of flipping cowards.
Exactly.
Well, this is a fantastic segment into our next topic because we're going to talk about that playoff picture. I'm going to take us through where we stand in the American League East. We're going to run through the wild card real quick, and then we're going to talk about the expectations from today, August 19th, through the end of October. So looking at it right now, the American League East is and has been dominated by the Tampa Bay Rays all season. They sit at 75-50. In second place, the New York Yankees are 70-55. Puts them 5 games back in the division lead. That also puts the Yankees at the top wild card spot. Behind them is your Boston Red Sox at 68-59 after this afternoon's loss to the Arizona Diamondbacks. That is including that at 68-59. 8 games back of the division lead. That puts us 5.5 games up on a wild card spot and 3 back of the Yankees. Now let's talk about some of these wild card teams that are behind us. Minnesota, 63-65. Texas, 62-64. Toronto, 62-65. Cleveland, 61-65. Baltimore, 61-65. Detroit, 61-66. That is 6 teams within 1.5 games of a playoff spot. That should be attack mode for those teams. But let's talk about the outlook for the Boston Red Sox. The division winners are the division leaders are the Tampa Bay Rays, Chicago White Sox at 66-60, The Houston Astros at 63-63. Can you believe that? 63-63. They're leading the AL West. And again, the wild card is the Yankees, the Sox, and what is being held right now by the Twins. But that changes every single day. Now, if you guys can look into a crystal ball, take me to October 1st or whenever the playoffs start. What do you see, and what are your expectations for this team? Stevie G.
All right, so I think all three division leaders as of right now will stand. I think the Yankees will stand as leading the wild card, and the Red Sox will be the second wild card. So that sets the Rays and the White Sox first round bye, and the Red Sox to play in the Bronx for the wild card. The last spot, again, this changes every day. I'm going to give it to Texas. It's going to change a lot, but at this current moment, I'm going to give it to Texas. I just think they have the most bona fide, experienced team out there. I know they're crippled with injuries, but I think they'd have what it takes to be in the wild card. Now, come October, I know I kind of alluded to this earlier this episode, that, the Rays are running away with it, but they collapsed almost every October. Call me, a late, say I'm from 2017 or whatever. The team I'd actually fear most is the Houston Astros. And the reason why is, well, one, I'm not scared about really any team in the AL this year because it's wide open. I think the Red Sox, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I think the Red Sox have what it takes this year in a very weak AL. But if I had to pick a team that scares me the most, it would be the Houston Astros. They're an experienced group. It's an experienced fan base. They've done this 100 times the past decade. They know what it takes. This isn't their first rodeo. Altuve's been around for so long. Correa, even though I know he's hurt, he's a veteran guy in that dugout. This team, this franchise, has done it year in, year out. Probably outside of the Dodgers, they're the most consistent franchise of the last decade, probably even closing in on our whole lives. They've been a very consistent franchise because of what they've done. And in October, experience is what gets you places. I know their pitching's weak, but I think Varsho, that was a solid add. So if I had to pick a team to be most nervous about at the moment, it would be the Houston Astros.
So we're going to lose to the Astros because of the experienced fan base. I see. But I agree. I don't really... I mean, the only division leader I could potentially see changing is maybe Texas taking over Houston's spot. But I don't think either anyone in the AL East is going to surpass the Rays. They kind of have been dominating it all year. I don't see... There's not really much time left to really flip that around. But the one thing I have different from you, Stevie, is I do think the Red Sox are going to overtake the Yankees and take that number one wild card spot. One, the Yankees are injured. They haven't had Judge and Stanton for a while. And I feel like they kind of... Just their offense is not anything special. And I really think that could screw them over in the last couple months. And at the end of the month, the Red Sox have a 4-game series against the Yankees. And I totally can see, looking into the future, another 4-game sweep of the Yankees. I swear, we've had the Yankees number, I mean, minus that wildcard series, we kind of have the Yankees number in the regular season for a while, especially last year. We kind of dominated them in the regular season. And especially in these, like, I feel like every year, even like dating back to like 2018, we always have these late summer series against the Yankees where we just sweep them and full momentum the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. I could totally see them getting 3 to 4 wins in this 4-game set, surpassing the Yankees and never letting it go, getting a home wildcard series. And if we get that home wildcard series, you bet we're beating the fucking Yankees. There's no shot they come into Boston and have what it takes to beat us. Going to Yankee Stadium might be a little different, but I still think we could beat the Yankees even if we go to New York. The 3-game set is Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, Carlos Rodon is a tough matchup. So we'll see. I think that third wildcard spot is going to be either the Rangers or Astros, though. I do think it's going to go to the AL West. I don't see... I mean, yeah, the Blue Jays run it's cute, but it's not enough. And definitely not the Orioles. The Guardians, do you think Joe Adell's acquisition is really going to carry them into another crazy run like they did last year when they took over that division? I mean, I guess they could maybe surpass the White Sox, but because the White Sox are a very young team, maybe they choke it at the end of the year, but I don't see it happening. So, yeah, I think Red Sox 1, Yankees 2, Rangers 3 for that wild card. And I do think the team that I'm scared about the most is the Dodgers because we're making it to the World Series.
So this segment right here is why I am dressed the way I am today. Because we're not just here for the second wild card spot. We saw how great the second wild card spot is last year, didn't we? We saw how much fun that was, playing 3 straight road games against your most hated rival. We are not here for the second wild card. We need to be pushing it pedal to the metal right now. And one of the reasons that I'm all for that is because it seems like we have the pitching reinforcements on the way. We'll hit on that a little bit when we get to the injury report. So if I'm looking in my crystal ball, Chad Tracy gets back Garrett Crochet, gets back Tanner Houck, goes full throttle for the entire month of September, and the Red Sox take the first wild card spot, the Yankees in the second spot, and the Toronto Blue Jays continue this run and stick in the third wild card spot. The Houston Astros fall out of the playoff picture. The Texas Rangers win the AL West. The White Sox win the Central, and the Rays win the East. That is what my crystal ball is showing me right now. What happens from there, I have no idea. But if I'm putting my money on anything, it's the Red Sox hosting the wild card round against the New York Yankees.
Hey, you're full business. You don't think they're going to make the World Series? Come on. Give me
I'm full business because now is the time where it's not a cute season anymore. We're past that. It's not a fun run anymore. No.
You got mad at me earlier, like, oh, I'm not just happy to be here. I'm not happy to be in a wild card spot. Yeah, you should be. I was expecting you to say we're going for the Rays for the division. We're going to the World Series with how you were talking.
Hold on. That should be the goal. I'm talking about my crystal ball. I'm trying to read the future, be realistic with 35 games left and an 8-game division deficit here. So that's what my crystal ball is telling me. Now, the thing that makes me so excited is all the reinforcements coming for the bullpen, because I think that's where the real difference is going to be made.
Yeah. Do you think this is a World Series run type of team or no?
Yeah. How can you not?
Right here,
Seriously.
right now. Boston, Atlanta, 2026 World Series.
Remember, Cobb predicted 70-something wins, and now you're all in on a World Series team.
Hey, man, life's crazy.
Yeah, maybe next year you won't have such a dumb prediction at the beginning of the season.
Life's crazy, man.
What were our predictions? I was like 91 and you were 90, Stevie, or were you 89?
I think I was 89.
Well, I mean, if this is Price is Right, then you can't go over. So if they get under 90 wins, then I'm actually going to win. So.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, this isn't Price is Right, but... All right, last week we had our first ever 3 questions non-baseball related. And, our one fan loved it, Cobb's mom, so we're going to do it again. So it's my week to come up with the questions. So my 3 questions were top 5 movie series. So it had to at least be 2 movies, and we are excluding, like, Marvel. You have to be a little more specific about that. You can't just say Marvel as a whole. And then the second question, if you were to go back in time and watch any Super Bowl, non-Patriot related, which one would you go to and why? And then dream podcast guest, non-Red Sox player. Stevie, what is your top 5 movie series?
All right. Maybe a little bit of recency bias, but Toy Story. I just saw Toy Story 5 about a week or 2 ago.
Hold on, Stevie, is this in order?
No, no.
No, you're supposed to rank them 1 to 5.
Oh, 1 to 5? Ooh.
Yeah.
He didn't rank them?
Damn.
All right, number 1, I'm going to go with the Home Alone series. Especially
one all time. Oh my god!
I didn't know this was a rankings.
All right, keep going.
All right. I'm going to put Cars up there, too. Okay. Cut.
No,
What?
keep going. Keep going. No, keep going.
I need to hear all.
No.
No, keep.
What do you
going.
mean?
Keep from going.
Did I not understand this question?
No, you're saying it right. It's just your top 5 all time. Just Home Alone 1.
Keep going. Keep going. This is not getting cut.
We'll say our opinions. We'll keep shut, Cobb. We'll keep shut.
Did I get this question wrong?
No,
Did I not understand the question?
No, just keep going.
Number 2,
keep going.
Cars.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going, Stevie.
Well, now I forget the rest.
You didn't write them down?
No. Oh my god.
Number 1, Home Alone. Number 2, Cars.
something.
Greatest movie
Wait, what'd you
series
say
of
first?
all
You said,
time.
So you've said.
Well,
You said
Toy
Home Alone.
Story. I just saw those
Toy
are like
Story.
best grossing movies of all.
You have two
time.
more. You have two more. You have two more.
Oh well, now I'm just lost because you guys.
All right. I can take over here, Stevie.
All right,
maybe this
Please.
jogs.
I don't think I
jogs your
got. I
memory.
think I got this question wrong. Or I like.
I think it was more meant to be more opinion related. Like, what are your favorite movie series of all time? Not like.
Okay, not right now, but when I was younger, isn't that what it was referring to?
That was just your whole life.
It's just your whole life, yeah.
Could have been when you
Because
were.
that's what I liked when I was younger.
Okay,
I know,
yes,
so
you-
that's
you
why-
didn't get it wrong.
You
You didn't get it wrong.
You didn't get it
You're
wrong.
doing
This is an
great.
opinionated question. There's no wrong answer.
Cobb. I'm just I don't know. What is a movie? What is a movie?
Number 2, Cars. All right.
That was like my favorite movie when I was a kid. I don't know.
All right. So when we were making the criteria, so the rule was 3 or more movies, correct? One of my honorable mentions only has 2. The third one is in production right now. Maybe my new favorite horror movie series of all time, the Smile movies. Love the Smile movies.
I've never seen them.
So that is an honorable mention for me. All right, let's go down the list. Number 5 is going to be the James Bond movies. Daniel Craig really has been just like the only Bond I've ever had in my life, so I can't really speak for any of the ones prior. Number 4, Star Trek. Both the new ones and the past ones. I am a Star Trek nerd. Live long and prosper, my friends. Number 3, little bit of recency bias, Spider-Man. Absolute Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fanatic. The Tom Holland ones have been fantastic, including the most recent. Number 2, Toy Story. Great.
I just got clowned for this.
No,
you
we were
didn't.
clowning
You didn't.
for Home Alone. We were
You got
clowning
clowned for Home Alone and then Cars.
I said Toy Story first.
I know.
The first-
And then I asked you if we were doing them in order, and then you were like, oh, it has to be in order.
So then you said number 1 was Home
All
Alone.
right, no. This is your list.
Number two is Toy Story. Love every single one. Edge of my seat, like borderline tears every single one. I don't know how they do it, but they do it every time. And number 1, shout out Kyle Morphus, Rocky.
Yeah,
Not much more needs to be said.
I like it. So number 5 for me, I might get clowned for this one, but I think they're pretty good. Pirates of the Caribbean, that series. It's a good one.
Yep.
Number 4, I also had Rocky. Rocky's a great series. Love that one. Number 3, Iron Man. Love me Iron Man.
That was on my
favorite.
list.
My favorite.
Considering that.
Now, I don't know if you're going to count this one, number 2. I just said the Avengers, because there's multiple Avengers movies. So I don't know if it's if you're going to count that. But
I'll give it to you for the sake of the question, but
Okay.
just be better next time.
I know. It's because it wasn't. I didn't just go say Marvel. Because Avengers is different from Iron Man or Thor or whatever. So that's where I went with that. And then number 1, Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Star Wars number 1 all the time. Don't make that face, Stevie. You put fucking Home Alone at number 1. I do. Yeah. Your opinion does not matter to me. Your opinion is not that. Do not make that face.
Stevie still has 3, 4, 5 he has to give.
Well, that's too bad. Well, I guess
No,
we
he
have
has
to
2 because he
another
said a Home Alone. Home Alone Cars, and Toy Story. So he's 2 more.
2 more?
I got nothing left in the tank. I've been ridiculed.
There's
Off
literally
my
no
own show.
movies. There's no movie series that is even close to the threshold that is Cars, Home Alone, and Toy Story.
Okay, maybe I don't know. I mean, when I was younger, I loved all
Stevie,
those.
just own it. Just own it. They're great answers.
They are.
They're hilarious, but they're great answers.
Yeah. Okay. I interpreted this question a different way. I mean,
No, you interpreted it
at work
correctly.
when we do all these icebreakers.
Have you guys ever seen Godfather or Harry Potter? Because I know those are popular answers. I've never seen Godfather.
I meant to mention
Harry
that.
Potter.
I watched The Godfather Part 1 in a bad setting. I think I tried to watch it on a flight, so I didn't really
I've
nearly
never
get the
seen
most
either
out
of
of
those,
it.
but I
but-
know they're popular answers.
I might get clowned for this, but I do like the Hangover movies.
See, I saw that on the list too. I'll give you credit for that only because the first one's one of the greatest comedies of all time.
I agree. I hadn't watched it in a while, and I watched it recently on a long flight I was on, and I'm like, that's a good movie.
2 is bad.
Will the grown-ups movies get added to this now that they're making a 3rd one?
Yeah, they are eligible. They are eligible. Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
what's the next question
Stevie,
again?
do you have a better answer for the second question?
What's the second question again?
If you were to go in person to any Super Bowl, what one would you go to, and not Patriot related?
Not Patriot related. Honestly, nothing really sticks out to me that much in terms of game.
Did you do any preparation?
Stevie, we sent the questions before.
Excuse me, you had no idea where I was going with that.
Excuse me.
All right, so there's nothing that.
It's a good thing this is Red Sox mostly because it's off the rails.
Yeah, I don't know. It's every time we hit hour 2, it's like.
Yeah.
There's a breaking point. So, if I may finish, which doesn't seem possible at this point, if I may finish. So, in terms of gameplay, if they were going to let me speak, there really isn't anything that sticks out to me that much. Now, before I get interrupted for the 9th time in the last 4 minutes, I actually think it would be kind of cool to go to one of the first Super Bowls and, see how it was different, see how the game has changed, see how fandom has changed. We're approaching Super Bowl 61. A lot changes in 60 years, so I think I would want to go to one of the first Super Bowls and just see how different it was. So, yeah, that was my answer. I could have answered it in 20 seconds, but instead it became this whole ordeal.
You didn't even give a specific game. You didn't give
Super Bowl
give a
1.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 1. Super Bowl 2.
Chiefs,
Super Bowl.
Packers.
Yeah.
You had what? Jets, Chiefs, Super Bowl 3, the
Jets,
NFL,
Colts.
AFL.
I thought it was Jets Colts.
It probably was the Colts. Yeah.
Well, Cobb, what's your answer to this one?
Super Bowl
Jets,
48. Super Bowl 48. Niners, Ravens. That is the blackout Super Bowl.
I completely forgot
Those
about
are
that one.
2 loaded teams as well. We're talking Pat Willis, Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Vernon Davis. Really just stud rosters in a great game as well.
I completely forgot about that one. That probably would have been my answer if I thought of that one, but it wasn't. So I have a joke one. I want to go to the Seahawks-Broncos one when they won 43-8 because I fucking hate Peyton Manning, and I would have loved to be there in person to watch that downfall. But it would have been cool to go to the Titans-Rams one, the tackle, when they won 23-18, and the game ended last second, tackling Kevin Dyson at the 1-yard line for the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I just think that game went down to the wire. That would have been a really cool game to watch in person.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
All right, now favorite podcast guest, Stevie.
Dream podcast.
Dream podcast guest.
And it's not baseball related.
No baseball.
What?
I'll go to Cobb first.
I don't want to interrupt you, but are you coming up with it on the spot?
First. Go to Cobb first.
All right, we'll go to Cobb
This
first.
guy's unbelievable. Dennis Rodman. Incredibly entertaining guy. Would love to hear all the shit that he did in the 90s, and he's arguably had a more interesting life since then, as he is a unofficial diplomat to North Korea. So that guy's probably got some stories. I would love to have Dennis Rodman as a podcast.
Yeah, that's honestly a great answer. Stevie, do you have an answer now?
I do have an answer. It's not going to be well liked because I don't think any of my
It's been
answers...
a bad segment for Stevie.
Yeah, it has. I mean,
Well, good thing he's coming up with the questions next.
Yeah, I mean, I get to...
so he'll be prepared.
I get to dodge all this. I would choose... What is going on? I would choose... I don't even know if he's done any podcasts. He's not alive anymore, but former President Jimmy Carter. More of an intellectual answer. Yeah, of course. No matter what I said, it wasn't going to be well done.
That was a wild answer. What do you mean?
It's a more of an intellectual one. Just the humanitarian person he is. He really is one of my role models. I really mean that. And he's someone that I look up to. Obviously, he wasn't a good president, but what he's done around the world to make the world a better place is something I respect deeply. And he really is someone that I look up to, and I would love to be on a... He's dead now, but I would have loved to do a podcast with him. I know it's more intellectual. It's not a Red Sox podcast. It's more on the sophisticated side.
You saying this is above my head, Stevie?
I didn't say that. I just...
I think he's saying that.
I didn't
That's what I'm
say
getting.
that. But
Keep saying
that is
intellectual, like I don't know what that means.
I'd hope you know what intellectual means. I mean, you graduated.
Barely.
Dang.
Barely.
All right, mine is not as interesting as your two's because that was wild. Mine's Shane Gillis, one of my favorite comedians, but also elite ball knower of every sport. I probably could go on a podcast with him, and we could just name names of sports players the whole time, and it would be a great episode. He's funny, and he also just knows ball like that. So yeah. And I'd also make fun of him for liking Notre Dame and how they didn't make the college football playoff last year. So,
I'll give an honorable mention so we have something a little more exciting, even though this answer probably won't be liked either. I mean, at this point, I don't know. But on the Next Pats podcast, I'm a big fan of Phil Perry with NBC Sports Boston. I just love the way he talks. There's just a lot of, especially with Patriots podcasts, I just find a lot of people out there really arrogant. So I'm not a big fan of some of his coworkers, but I've been a big Phil Perry guy the last few years, and he knows his stuff. So
That's a great answer, Stevie.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised I wasn't laughed out of the room by that, but yeah, big Phil Perry.
A sports reporter versus Jimmy Carter? Come on.
Yeah, you're allowed to have numerous interests. I mean,
No, I'm not. Never mind. It's just...
It is. It's a unique answer. I mean, it's a unique answer, but I mean,
You're a
no.
unique
It's all,
guy,
some would
Stevie.
say it's unique to predict a team to win 70 games and then make the World Series in the same year. So many things can be true. Many things can be true at the same time.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
Many things can be true at once. Welcome back into the Fenway Faithful. This is Dr. Jonathan Cobb reporting live with the injury report of the 2026 Boston Red Sox. Again, today's date is August 19th, 2026. Let's dig right into it. Curtis Mead, injured left wrist. Injured on July 28th. He's still in a cast, says manager Chad Tracy. Tracy said that it's a different kind of cast that he's in. The new cast is going to be so his wrist can be scanned. Bottom line is it's still not being moved. He's still weeks away from a potential rehab assignment, at least 2+ weeks away from baseball activities. Temper your expectations with Curtis Mead coming back this season. Now another injury that happened just this past week, Masataka Yoshida, significant left hamstring injury. Wouldn't put much faith in seeing Masa back on the field. That was a tough-looking injury as he came into second base in Pittsburgh on August 15th. Now some more bad... What's that?
And his hamstring exploded.
Yeah.
It looked horrible.
Yeah, it did not look good. Luckily, I mean, the initial things aren't like he ripped his hamstring in two pieces. Tracy did label it as a significant hamstring strain for whatever that's worth. Some more bad news. Trevor Story is back healthy. Trevor Story recovering from a sports hernia surgery May 14th. Story was in Worcester Monday through Wednesday, and it appears that Boston has a travel day tomorrow, Thursday the 20th, and are back home for the weekend series with San Fran. Looks like Story's targeting that date. Just so happens to be the same day the Fenway Faithful may be in attendance. Wouldn't it be nice to boo that loser? Some good news. Roman Anthony. If you have been on social media in the last 48 hours, you have seen Roman Anthony hit a ball from Portland to Boston, Massachusetts. The first human to do such a feat. No, not exactly, but what he did do is go 2 for 2 with 2 walks in his first rehab assignment with the Portland Sea Dogs. Again, Anthony's coming back from a sprained finger, suffered May 4th in Detroit. One of the interesting things, though, with this rehab assignment is they had Anthony DHing just for 7 innings. They didn't say anything definitive about him playing outfield during this rehab assignment or what those expectations are for the rest of the season. So something to monitor. A DH spot would definitely still be a hole in the lineup when he comes back, given that Massa is now out for an indefinite amount of time. But just something to throw out there. We might be seeing Roman Anthony as a DH when he does come back. All right, let's talk bullpen. Garrett Whitlock, injured, right elbow inflammation. Good news, clean MRI. Bad news, we're in a wait-and-see period. Nothing more on that. When you get more, we'll let you know. More bad news, Justin Slayton. Same injury, same date, August 12th, right elbow inflammation. The issue with Slayton is that he came out to the media and said that it is something that he was dealing with off and on all season. If I had to imagine, this is not going to be a 2-week rest and then come back. He's struggled this year. If he's saying that he's been fighting an injury, there's no sense in rushing him back just to be in pain and struggle again. If I'm a betting man, we've seen the last of Justin Slayton in 2026. Now for another couple of guys, these two we haven't seen in a bit. Tanner Houck, first and foremost. Back to throwing live ABs. Threw about 20 to 25 pitches down in Fort Myers on Tuesday the 18th. Looks like his rehab assignment is going to be right around the corner. We haven't seen him in over a year in his recovery from Tommy John surgery. Houck would be a great addition to the bullpen, increase that depth like we're going to need come October. Garrett Crochet, another guy that may be in the bullpen. Crochet has been recovering from a shoulder, a lat, and then another shoulder injury since April 29th. That is the Red Sox training staff for you. Crochet is back throwing about 5 or 6 days a week, and that's about it. He's not throwing at 100%. He's not airing it out. He's not throwing off of a mound. He did say that if he does come back, that it would be as a reliever. So whatever his ramp-up process would be, it's going to be for a 25 to 30 pitch relief outing and not to stretch him out as a starter. A lot of his comments seem to be rather positive about him potentially coming back this season. I'm not as hopeful, given that we are at 5-6 weeks away from the playoffs. Crochet is still not throwing off of a mound. He needs 2 weeks to ramp up, 2+ weeks to ramp up. Probably 2+ weeks to get going, get into a rehab assignment. And then what? We're going to shove him onto a mound 5 months after his last appearance in the most important series of the year? I don't know if I'm ready for that. Seems like Erik Crochet thinks he is. That's the injury report with Jonathan Cobb of the Fenway Faithful. Gentlemen, any thoughts on those names that we heard there?
Well, like we keep saying, there's like a lot of reinforcements coming, and we're gonna see a lot of these guys that have kind of helped this team go on a run, get optioned, maybe get DFA'd. So it might be a little tough. You might see guys like Chang or Eli White and players like this end up getting DFA'd. Yeah, it was fun for a little bit for them to come up and help us out, and like Siegler and maybe Monasterio loses playing time because all these guys are coming back like Anthony and Trevor Story. If we could get Houck back in the bullpen, that'll be fantastic. I loved him out of the bullpen role. I didn't really like putting him back in the rotation. Yeah, he was good for that first half of 2024. But him as a reliever would be nice, especially because we're seeing guys like Alec Gamboa or whatever, and Burgos and all these random guys that keep getting called up and down from AAA left and right just to kind of eat innings. I would way rather have Tanner Houck and like maybe if Yohan Oviedo comes back, have those guys eat innings. I think I would way rather see that out of them. And yeah, I'd just bring them all back. And Crochet out of the bullpen could be nasty because maybe his velo ticks up a little bit because he's in a bullpen spot. He was a reliever his first year, and they made the playoffs that year, right? The White Sox, the first year he was
that's a good question. I think he was rushed up to the majors as soon as he got drafted,
for a
and he
playoff
did come
run,
up as a reliever. Yeah.
So he's done it before. I know it's been a while, but maybe that'll be good to get him up and help out that bullpen, get an elite lefty out of the bullpen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Only thing I'll kind of add in here, with Crochet, I mean, I'm still holding out hope that we're going to see him in 2026. I think he'd be a perfect opener for Bayo. Get him.
Oh,
That's a good idea. Yeah.
That's a
have
good
him
idea.
throw an inning or two. I mean, we're probably only going to be able to see him once a week, maybe twice. I think him opening for Bayo would be perfect.
That makes a lot of sense
great
because you
idea.
get to control his warm-up as well.
Yeah, and I love with the openers, like, going either lefty to righty, righty to lefty. I think that's a match made in heaven right there.
I mean, to call Chad Tracy with this one.
And they've been like trying to find an opener all year, and all of the options have sucked, and they've always like let up a run in the first inning. And I think Crochet would go out there and kind of dominate as an opener, and then just go.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect.
And I think Miller seems like he can be a solid opener, but especially with the Whitlock injury, and even in general, I'd want him back there. I mean, you never know how the game can go later on. You want reliable guys out there. But Crochet to Bayo, opener to 5 or 6 inning bulk. I mean, the two of them could probably go a whole game, honestly.
Would you trust that in a game 2 or a game 3 of a playoff game? Because that's probably what it would end up being. Because Crochet probably won't be ready until the playoffs, or maybe a couple weeks before the playoffs. But would you trust them? Because as of right now, you would think Sonny Gray's game 1 starter.
Gray, Suarez, Tolley.
Yeah. So I guess we might not even need to have that, but in a playoff game. But would you trust that?
I would. It wouldn't be my first choice, but yes, I would trust it. But I think come the playoffs, I mean, the wild card series will be those 3 guys, and then you have Crochet back there. I think come playoff time, actually, I'm maybe going to change this a little bit. Come playoff time, yes, I trust them, but I think Crochet would be the perfect, 7th, 8th inning guy that Evaldi was in 2018. They did that with Evaldi in 2018. They brought him in as a starter, but then kicked him and Eduardo Rodriguez to the bullpen. And Evaldi was the 8th inning setup guy. Maybe not every game. I mean, Crochet probably can't be an everyday relief pitcher. And they want to build him back to be a starter. But yes, I trust it, but I think come playoffs, you maybe would want to throw Crochet in the bullpen.
Yeah, agreed. There's just one last name that we do need to address. What are we going to do with Trevor Story? Nobody wants to answer the question. It has to get answered.
What do I want, or what do I think is going to happen?
Yeah, because those are two different things. I don't want Story to get the playing time. I'd rather have I can't believe I'm saying this, Sogard and Monasterio up the middle. But because you just can't take Monasterio's bat out of the lineup, so then what? You flip him over to second base, which he would be better defensively there. Then you just kick Sogard to the bench. Maybe you put Sogard in left and then kick Duran to the bench. And then have Story get played. Because I know they're going to put Story back at shortstop. That's definitely what's going to happen. It's not what I want at all. But I know they are going to trust Story to be the shortstop for the playoffs.
I think we're all fearful that Story comes back and is just gifted the shortstop position again in the middle of a race to October. Do you guys think that is not is there a chance that that's not inevitable because there's no more Alex Cora? This is a Chad Tracy-led team. This is a AAA managed-led team.
He's still making all that money, though, and he's seen as a leader on the team.
Is he?
He better be. If not, he shouldn't be on the team anymore.
Tough to say that he's viewed as a leader when hasn't been out there.
I mean, you bring up a good point with Cora, because like Cora and Story were like that, like because he was injured all the time, so he's almost like an assistant coach on the side.
Yeah.
So maybe now
he's doing Cora's job for him.
Yeah,
I wonder why you liked him.
Chad Tracy. Maybe you kind of see maybe they're gonna slowly bring Story back, ramp him up, because he's typically a slow starter in the seasons. Get Monasterio and Story maybe split time at shortstop for a little bit. I don't know, but I fully see them trying to throw him back in at shortstop. Maybe not every day, but now that you have Monasterio as a research, like as a guy, and Nick Sogard. One more question I have. I know we're going way too long, but we keep saying we want an outfielder to replace Duran because we don't like Duran's offensive production. He's been great defensively, and we assume that Roman Anthony's just going to come up as a DH. Don't want to re-injure him or whatever. Just slowly get him in at the DH. What about Christian Campbell as a September call-up?
Enough. Next topic.
What about Masataka's injured? What are you going to have Jahmai Jones and Eli White out there every day? Well, Christian Campbell's been having a fantastic month and a half down at AAA. Just as a September call-up. Get him, maybe platoon him and Duran. Just give him a chance.
I wouldn't hate it, but I think that ship has kind of sailed. But
like, don't make Christian Campbell an everyday left fielder. Like, get him some starts. I kind of want to see what he has up at the majors before we go into a lockout for another year. Is it
really worse than what they're going to get out of Duran? He's batting 198 all year.
They say like I think you gotta, especially if you're going up. I mean, Jahmai Jones, I guess, would play left against a lefty, but it's like just give
Jahmai
him
Jones has
a
played
September
fine.
call-up.
Jahmai Jones has played fine. Like, what are we pushing Jahmai Jones up? He's done exactly what you need. Eli White is here to be a pinch runner. Eli White is Quentin Berry. That's who Eli White is. Shout out Ball Knowledge 2013 Sox. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if we're spending our September seeing what we have with Christian Campbell, I'm going to be flipping livid. Those are important games to get that first wild card spot, and you want to spend them seeing if Christian Campbell still has anything left in the tank. Go F yourself,
One guy's going to
dude.
make a big difference and lose us a game. Yeah.
Yes, he absolutely, dude. There's 35 games left in the season. We're fighting for a playoff spot. We don't have any time to be messing around with Christian effing Campbell.
He's doing great down in AAA, so I don't know.
Can he play defense? Where does he play? Where does he play?
Throw him in left field.
Throw him in left field. Throw him in left field.
That was the whole argument. Saying we want to replace Duran. How about you give some looks to Christian Campbell?
If we're 50 and 70, then I say go right for it. Call up Christian Campbell tomorrow. But we are 68 and 59, and we are fighting for the first wild card spot. Don't give me this Christian Campbell experiment.
I just don't think it's going to be. If it's worse than Duran, they send him back. If it's not, they have something. I mean, I don't like giving people tryouts in September either, but I mean, I don't think it can get much worse than this. I just really
We have to accept Duran at this point. I don't think this is changing.
It's not, because they didn't add anything.
Yeah.
And as I hinted at an hour ago, if they want to change, the only option now is 38-year-old Starling Marte, who was just DFA'd. So, yeah, that ship has sailed. I mean, they should have gotten someone... Yeah, they
Zuna.
They should have gotten, the ship has sailed, but...
Christian Campbell.
It was just a question, September call, but I didn't think it pissed Cobb.
It's not going to happen, because I think...
because let's just use our September call-ups to just toy with what we have for our
Who else do you
AAA
have
left
down
field.
there that you could use as September call-ups? Because there's two that you could use. Who else are you going to call up? Who's even down there that's worth the call-up?
Who gives a damn? I'm here to win games. I actually am not worried about the 28th and the 29th man on the roster. With all due respect. Actually, with no due respect. Fuck that.
Okay. I'll never bring up Christian Campbell again.
In the middle of a playoff run. Let's see what we have from
Not
Christian
like I was saying,
Campbell.
play him every day or put him in the fucking playoff lineup.
Why don't we get Sam Travis back here? You know, why don't we get Ryan Lavarnway back here? See if he has anything left in the tank. What? He's just a September call-up. Unfucking believable.
Just for a game or two every once in a while.
Just a game or two. Yeah, because, I mean, playoff races are never decided by a game or two. This fucking guy.
But putting Cheng in the lineup was completely fine back then. And
Guy's elite defender.
Eli White started in center field the other day. Like, come on. One game. Yeah, you're throwing out Eli White in fucking center field.
I think Eli White's a major league level player. I don't think Christian Campbell is.
That's an opinion. As always, we give credit when credit's due. So that comes with one of our favorite segments, week in and week out, Studs and Duds. So we'll do a rapid fire here. Stud number 1 is none other than someone that was on the complete other receiving end back in April, third baseman Caleb Durbin. This guy has been on a heater recently. Past 7 games, he's hitting .333 with a home run and 7 RBIs. Last 30 games, still over 300, hitting .306. This guy was getting clowned months ago. Breslow was getting clowned for trading for him. He was hated here. And now he looks like one of the best players on this team and an asset for the foreseeable future. I don't think it's that far-fetched to say that a lot of the success recently has been because of the resurgence of Caleb Durbin and what he has done to this team. This is a guy who's now pinch hitting when it's needed on his off days. He's batting 5th or 6th sometimes. I think even 3rd he hit in a recent game. They needed help internally, guys to step it up, and he has done just that. This guy, this next one, obviously everyone knows has been a stud this year, but I think by our podcast, we really haven't given him a ton of credit. But that's Sonny Gray. He's been a stud this year. I don't really think we've done a lot of time talking about him, but I think that's because we just expect him to go out there every 5th day, absolutely deliver. I mean, this is unheard of. He's 36 years old. I thought we were going to get, a guy with a 4 ERA who'll give you a great game, but then some misery after. But this guy's been absolutely nails. He did have a couple rough outings in July, but his ERA has been in the 2s all season. He's 15-3, and he really should be a Cy Young candidate. I mean, there's really no other way to explain this. Finally, even though he's on a bit of a cold streak right now, I will give huge credit to Andrew Monasterio. He snuck into this role with Story down, Marcelo getting traded, all this havoc going on in the infield. He stepped up when they needed the most. And, yeah, a little cooling off about the last week or so, but when they need him, he has stepped up. His defense at shortstop has also stepped up a lot. I think statistically he was one of the worst shortstops in the league when he took over the position, and he's been making some big plays. So, huge credit to Monasterio. We don't know what the future is going to hold for him this year, but he has been electric recently.
So, yeah, Sonny Gray's been great. He has gotten a career high in wins this year at 15. That's pretty sick. And then Wilson Contreras just hit a career high in home runs. So the two guys we got from the Cardinals this year with career highs a little bit later on in their careers. Now, I've got the duds for the week. My first dud is Jake Bennett. Like I said earlier in the program, I was a little concerned about some of these younger guys' workloads a little bit later on in the season, like Tolley and Bennett. Bennett's last 3 starts, a total of 15 innings pitched and 11 earned runs. That's a 6.6 ERA. So I'm starting to get a little concerned about his workload. Velo maybe a little bit down. Hopefully he could turn it back around, or maybe we give him a couple more off days. I don't know. Get some other looks out there because he's going to be an important piece down the stretch. My second dud, this one isn't as fair, but newly acquired Adley Rutschman. I kind of went over the stats earlier in the episode. It's just not been great since coming here, batting below 200. But yeah, I think they might have rushed the rehab stint. The last 2 games have been good, but other than that, he just seems late on everything, and he just didn't. It kind of seemed like we rushed him. So it's not entirely his fault. He might still be a little injured, but whatever. And then the third dud is going to be. I couldn't really find too many duds because we've been playing like pretty solid. But Anthony Siegler, he lost his starting job to Nick Sogard. In 13 games, he has batted 8 for 34. That's a 235 batting average and a 613 OPS. So not very good, and you're losing your spot to Nick Sogard. So and we were all over Anthony Siegler when he first got called up and was kind of giving a spark to this team, and that spark has died.
Honorable mention dud of the last couple of weeks, that would be Penn State Delta Upsilon chapter. Definitely some bad news coming out of there. Just wanted to throw that in there. All right, and welcome back to the final segment, my favorite segment of all the segments on the Fenway Faithful podcast. That would be the Jordan Hicks Award, my favorite segment. What is everybody's Jordan Hicks Award from the week? Stevie G, I'm going to kick it off to you.
I'm going to go very generic. Paul Skeens, really tough to see. He's just not been the pitcher he has been and is supposed to be, and it's kind of tough to see. Not the most exciting answer, but I feel like that's been on my feed a lot. That, like, people just feel bad for Paul Skeens, and I kind of do too. I mean, he's been very subpar this year.
Yeah,
so,
I struggle to find any pity for Paul Skeens.
Well,
he has the
the
life.
point of the award isn't to build pity; it's about
that guy's the American
who deserves
dream.
it. But that's my answer.
Mike?
Mine's gonna be. I think this might be the first time I actually give the award to a Red Sox player, and it's Jarren Duran. I think since the last recording, these 2 things have happened. One, there was the pop fly in left field against the Athletics, and then he got mad at Wilson Contreras for not tagging, even though that was the most fucking shallow fly ball I've ever seen in my life. Why would he ever tag on that? And he was getting all pissy and moaning about it. And then, I don't know if you guys heard the story about what he said about Tyler Milliken. How he was just calling him like fat or whatever, like telling him to shut up, and that the stuff about him and the fan interaction blew up because of him. And there's just always something about Jarren Duran that just happens, and it just pisses me off. And I'm just so sick of the Jarren Duran era in Boston. I kind of just want it to end. He's clearly not made for like the big market, and he's always like talking like on the story the other day. He was like talking about like someone was reaching out about his mental health, which is great and all, but then you're out and calling people fat losers. Like, what if that got him to kill himself, huh? Like, you can't be calling people names like that, but then also be an advocate for mental health. It just doesn't really make sense to me. And then he's going at Wilson Contreras and teammates. It's like, come on.
Did you see him dox that guy on his Instagram story the other day?
Yes. Yes.
So I imagine my dad's listening, probably doesn't know what that entails. So somebody direct messaged Jarren Duran, pretty much told him to off himself. And so Jarren Duran responded with posting a picture onto his story with his hundreds of thousands of followers, like a picture of the guy that said it, like his home address and like place of employment. Completely and totally hilarious.
That was funny.
Immature, yes. Should you be focusing on that? No. Objectively hilarious, yes.
It was funny. But yeah, like, everyone loves Milliken in the Red Sox space. Like, he's a good Red Sox media member and all that. So to go after him for pretty much nothing is ridiculous. And there's always something with Jarren Duran. It's just getting old.
Yep, I'm with you. That shtick is, come and gone. I was hoping that we were going to see the last of him at the deadline, but so be it. Now we just need to accept it, and frankly, I kind of think it's more dangerous to bench him at this point. If you have that hothead on the bench, causing a ruckus, chirping with fans for 9 innings a game, I almost think that we are better off trotting out a guy into left field with a sub 650 OPS. It's kind of a weird backwards way to think about it, but yeah. My Jordan Hicks Award, I was actually fully expecting somebody else to pick this one. I think it's the only right answer from the past 2 weeks, and that is going to be Ketel Marte. You tool bag. For those that don't know, he didn't show up to the game. When was that game? That game was on Monday. Monday the 17th, the Arizona Diamondbacks traveled to Fenway Park, and Ketel Marte was not there for first pitch. This is not the first time that Ketel Marte has no-showed. What more needs to be said? Like, you tool bag. Like, he's on a good team. He is their best player. Like, is it childish? Is it, like, mental health? Is it family? Like, all that I know is going radio silent and not doing anything is definitely the wrong option to pursue. For whatever it's worth, Torey Lavillo talked about it Monday after the game. And somebody had asked him, they said, Torey, when did you have an idea that Ketel wasn't going to be here for today's game? And Torey Lavillo was a little bit teared up when he was answering this, and he said, the morning of. So it seems like it may be something that has been brewing for quite some time. Maybe it just blew up in the plane ride over to Boston. I don't know. You are a professional athlete, dude. Figure it out. It better not be the jet lag, because we don't believe in that on the Fenway Faithful podcast. Drink a coffee, show up to work, do the bare minimum. It's people like this that like make us, despise, professional athletes making millions of dollars and still bitching about this shit.
I mean, yeah, it's a dream of all of ours to go play Major League Baseball and make millions of dollars, and he's kind of just throwing it away. I remember last year, I know we heard one story of his house getting broken into, and then more stories about him being maybe mental health or whatever, or just his teammates, that he was like butting heads with teammates. So we've heard so many things. So I have no clue what it could possibly be, but it makes me glad that the Red Sox didn't pull the trigger on the trade this offseason.
Oh, I was so on
board. Sounds like we dodged a bullet.
I was so on board with trading Meyer or Anthony for him. I mean, not Anthony, excuse me, Meyer or Early. Yeah. So sad. So sad.
Well, thank you all for listening. It was a very long episode, probably our longest yet, but we missed 3 weeks. So we had a lot to talk about. We're gonna get back on the social medias. I know I've been lacking on the social media front. That New York vlog will eventually get put out there. Don't you worry. And we got some exciting baseball down the stretch. Hopefully, a good playoff run on the horizon. We're gonna be getting out a ton of content for a hopeful playoff run. So stay tuned for all the exciting stuff to come from Red Sox baseball and the Fenway Faithful podcast.
Let's go. Woo. Viva la Fenway Faithful, boys. Woo!